to ignite. Teams and drivers roll into Michigan International Speedway, fine-tuned to fight their way into the chase. Today, in the Irish Hills of Michigan, they must rely on skill, strategy, and a whole lot of luck.
Saving all you can save.
With Irish eyes smiling and devilish engines roaring, fuel management could decide who captures the checkered flag and who comes up empty for risking it all.
Mark Martin's catching Greg Biffle. Biffle's out of gas.
Green rolling hills and asphalt straightaways, spring-fed lakes and depleted gas tanks. 400 miles of flat-out racing. One key decision can decide it all.
You got pressure, go. When you got pressure, go.
What does it mean? Is it cars and trucks need gasoline?
I don't know what your fuel deal is, how much you've been saving, but this racing, if we win, we're going to win it. Yeah, baby! I'm out of gas!
Those who have never won here push the limits. Those who have won hope they remember just how far their luck can go. Racing through the Irish Hills of Michigan. Cars, crews, gasoline, skills, guts, luck.
On a beautiful summer afternoon in August, 43 drivers hope to be the one to put all those elements together and take home the trophy from the Irish Hills as ESPN welcomes you to NASCAR Countdown for the Carfax 400 from the beautiful 2-mile Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. From the time this racetrack opened in 1968, it's been a favorite of the drivers. The wide, sweeping turns and long, high-speed straights make for an exciting afternoon behind the wheel and an exciting afternoon for the fans, too. Let's begin our show today with qualifying, which was held Friday afternoon. Casey Kahne, who finished second in the June race here, showed there'd be no lame duck letdown with the team he'll leave at season's end. They set the fastest lap to win the Coors Light Pole Award for the second time this season. Kahne edged Jimmy Johnson by the narrowest of margins, 2/100ths of a second. But Johnson, the four-time champ, looking to this race to bounce back from what's been a difficult month. Just behind them sits the man really on the hot seat, Clint Bowyer, 13th in points, one spot out of a place in the championship chase, and hoping to change that with a big day in Michigan today. He starts third. He's with our Dave Burns.
And Alan, some mechanical issues last week forced Clint to a 32nd place finish. So first of all, how do you erase all that to get to here?
Weeks worth of Sturges. We had a lot of fun and put that behind us. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, you can't do anything about that. The guys, work very hard, and we take a lot of pride in building good race cars. When things happen, they happen. I mean, you just got to chalk it up as that and move forward.
This is not your last chance, but this race is very important. How do you approach today's event?
Well, it is a very important race. I mean, it's crunch time. 4 races to go. This is a very pivotal, race. This is probably the last race that you can actually control everything. Bristol, Richmond's another short track. I guess Atlanta you can throw in there, and is a good track for us. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's going to be a battle right down to the wire. There's nobody that's going to walk off into the sunset from this point on. I mean, it's going to be a battle right down to Richmond.
All right, well, I'll let you control the interview, too. Why don't you throw it back to Alan Bestwick?
Yeah, get back after it, Alan.
Happy to, Clint. I appreciate that. They've recently completed a very extensive rebuild of the pit road area and the suites and facilities behind it. Some new surroundings this year for our ESPN pit studio that have definitely raised the property values. Inside, Alan Bestwick with 5-time Michigan winner Rusty Wallace, team owner Big Brad Daugherty, and a guest, the championship leader in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, Kevin Harvick. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Why will this be a good race to watch today?
Well, I think for the fans to watch a race where the drivers can race from the bottom of the racetrack to the top, the drivers really enjoy the fact that if your car's not handling quite right, you can move to the top of the racetrack or you can move to the middle, and it's got a little bit different banking. So it's just a unique racetrack, and the restarts, they fan out and go crazy 3-4 wide.
Hey, Kevin, we've been watching you run all year long, and a lot of people have been saying, man, last year to this year, look how much better he is. I mean, what have been some of the major changes that's made that happen?
Yeah, I think that the biggest changes are just the fact that Richard made the commitment about Indianapolis last year. He said, all right, we got to do something different. We built new cars, basically threw 4 teams worth of cars away, and really at the end of the year, all 4 teams started running well. So for us this year, we started building on that, and now we have progressed, and our engineering department's doing a great job, and the engines are still running great, and the cars are so much better than they were last year. But really, it was just a new direction from all standpoints as far as the cars go.
You got a great qualifying spot. You're going to start 8th. What's it going to take to win this race today?
Well, I think that's a good start.
Yeah.
You know, qualifying's been not our strong suit as the year's gone on. That's been something that we've really tried to work on as we've gone through the races through the months here. So for us, I think just keeping up with the racetrack, the sun's out, just keeping up with the track and where the groove goes, and keeping that track position all day, because it's hard to pass once you get single file. You can make a lot of ground on restarts if you're good, but once you get spread out, it's hard to catch back up.
When you start a race where you know fuel mileage might be a factor, do you really think about it behind the wheel? Do you know it's coming, or does that just out of your mind until the crew chief says,
it's the worst feeling in the world. The crew chief says, all right, we need 2 laps of gas, and you're like, all right, well, what do you want me to do? We're running green here, so. But this is a very unique place as far as fuel mileage, and it seems like the pit windows always come at the most unopportune times to pit, and it always comes down to fuel mileage. So you do everything you can under caution, and if you wind up in a big gap on the racetrack, but the only problem is everybody else is short too, so they start saving, so y'all wind up running the same speed as you go through that run. So it's a lot of strategy.
It gets crazy at the end of these races a lot. Kevin Harvick, championship leader, driver of the Shell Pennzoil Chevy for Richard Childress Racing, is with us. Got to take a break. Got some more questions for you about the bigger picture when NASCAR Countdown continues from Michigan with the California kid, Kevin Harvick.
NASCAR Countdown is brought to you by Hampton Hotels. At Hampton, we love having you here. And Valspar Paint.
The field of 43 lined up along pit road and ready to race 400 miles at the Michigan International Speedway. The car in 8th position on that grid. The number 29 machine to be wheeled by Kevin Harvick, the Sprint Cup Series championship leader, who's had quite the season so far.
Kevin Harvick, our points leader, doing what he needs to do. Continues to put out good run after good run each week. Kevin Harvick can smell victory lane here. Kevin Harvick coming to the front in the closing lap. Here comes Kevin Harvick, dive to the inside. He will win today at Talladega Speedway. Kevin Harvick picking up the win in the Coke Zeros 400. Oh yeah, guys! Oh yeah!
Well, the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup begins after 4 more races. The top 12 in points will be reseeded mostly by the number of wins they have in the year. And a look at the reseed as it stands now shows Kevin Harvick would be in 3rd place, 30 points behind Jimmy Johnson and Denny Hamlin, a gap he hopes to close, easy for me to say, with a win today. Another related note, any driver who leads 13th place by 586 points or more after today would clinch his place in the chase. It's possible, Kevin, that you will do that today. How much of a surprise, given where things were a year ago, is it that we'd be talking about, with 4 races to go, you clinching a place in the championship?
Well, I think it's exciting as much as it is anything, just for the fact that you know what the struggles were last year, and to come in this year and run the way that we've run, I think you respect it a lot more, and you really want to keep it going. So, you know, I'm happy. I'm excited to get it all over with. The first part of the accomplishment to get into the chase. But I think that, you know, the last 10 weeks is really what sets the tone for how the year was.
And you'd really rather have those 10 more bonus points today.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, in order to win a championship, you got to have everything, all the help you can from different areas and stuff like that. Now, yesterday's race, that new car is pretty close to the current car you're racing right here today. Is there anything you learned from yesterday that you can apply to today, maybe air pressures, techniques around the track, anything like that?
Well, I think that the groove of the racetrack, I found a groove that I liked up at the top of the racetrack, and that worked really well. And the second thing I learned, don't run your car that loose, because it'll be too loose when the race starts. So, you know, luckily our Cup car is not that free, and I think yesterday we made several mistakes as we went through the race and there at the end. So hopefully today will go a little bit better, but the cars are both really fast.
You know, last year each week was a struggle. You guys were struggling to get through the season. Now all of a sudden you're a couple of weeks away from the chase. You've run great all year, been very consistent. will you change how you run come chase time? Will you make any adjustments, or will you keep doing what you've been doing?
Well, I like the way that we've raced the last few weeks. I like the chances that we've taken at Indy. I like the chance, we were competitive to race for the win at Pocono, and it all came down to a little bit of strategy. But I like the way that those things have been going. I like the way that we've had kind of a relaxed, just go for it attitude. And I really think the risk versus the reward in the chase is worth it.
Okay.
And I think that these last few weeks have kind of proven that to us, that you just kind of throw caution to the wind, and the reward's going to be a lot bigger if it all works out.
Yeah.
Where do you think your team stacks up against others that you're going to race for this championship? As I mentioned, the reseed, you're going to be behind Johnson and Hamlin right now. Your results lately, better than theirs lately. Where do you think you stack up as you look ahead to those 10 weeks?
Well, I really think we've beat them week in and week out for 20-some weeks. And the last 10 weeks, obviously, things change and it resets and it goes back to zero. And a lot of stuff can change. You can lose that momentum. You can lose so many things. But we've proven to ourselves that we can beat them week in and week out. But we just have to do the right things. And there's so many things that can go wrong. You don't count that as a given by any times. But I think that the biggest thing to me is that 48 car is still the car to beat until somebody beats him. And right now I think we have that opportunity, but we can't make any mistakes.
Hey, Brad, a long time ago I went to A.J. Ford. I was going into this last race in Texas, and I said, "Can you think you can beat A.J.?" And I said, "I beat him every week. I don't know why I can't beat him here." And they said, "When you find out Wallace, I'm going to beat his head in." He got a big mouth.
What I hear there is confident but not overconfident.
Absolutely, confidence.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, things have... when things are going good, you have that momentum, you have that confidence to do the things that you need to do on the racetrack. But in the end, you have to make it happen in those 10 weeks. And nobody has been able to make that happen over the last 10 weeks in the last 4 years. So until that happens, that's still the guy to beat, in my opinion.
Yeah. Totally unrelated to anything. Is this like hockey players do the
let me tell you why I didn't shave this morning. I was a little bit frustrated yesterday, so I left the racetrack and went golfing last night just to kind of get my mind off of things.
That'll frustrate you,
and I got eaten by at least 100 mosquitoes. I have bumps all over my face from mosquito bites, so I just decided not to shave this morning.
Was just curious.
My arms, my legs, my face.
Unrelated to anything, like I said. While Kevin's with us here, take a second and swing over to Tim Brewer in our Craftsman Tech Garage. Tim?
Thanks, guys. In the Craftsman Tech Garage today, I've got Kevin Harvick's crew chief, Gil Martin. Question to you, what was the biggest change you made from last year to this year to be more competitive?
I mean, sitting right behind us is one of the biggest things. This engine right here producing a lot of horsepower, not just for us, but for many teams. But we've done the engine program, our chassis program, our engineering program. Everything has gotten so much better that we can't help but run good right now.
Okay, I'm going to buy that. But still yet, when it comes down to the end of the race, when Kevin Harvick and Gil Martin somewhere see it towards the end of that race, you always make the calls to come from the 10th place to the top 5 with 2 wins. And you're on the pit box. You made those calls. What have you been doing to make that better?
Well, there's some things we've been doing lately. You get Kevin where he can just see the front and he'll bring it home. He'll bring it to the pay window at the end of the day because he sniffs out the lead and he runs good when he gets up front. So our strategy that we've been using going into this year, I think we've done our homework a little bit better. We've looked at the history of the races, and I think that's made us better deeper into a race.
Kevin Harvick and Gil Martin. Look for them to be challengers for the championship at the end of the year. And thanks for coming by, and have a good day today.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, Gil, Tim, thank you. And that is a topic that we talk about a lot, is at the end of these races, all of a sudden, there you are.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of that comes from qualifying. So you got to take your time to keep your car from getting tore up, and you have a good race car. So in the end, there's really no reason to get in a hurry at the beginning of the race and get the fenders knocked in and get impatient with the progression of the race. And the main thing is having a good, solid day in the beginning, getting your car handling right, and when you have the opportunity to get up front, then you push it as hard as you can. So they do a good job of just getting us dialed in the first half of the race, and the second half we race hard.
Don't tell them your secret, man, because you've been putting it on them. Don't tell them.
It's all good. Hey, you don't have to worry about that qualifying thing today, because starting in 8th position. Thank you for the time. We'll wish you well, trying to gain 10 more bonus points.
All right, guys.
And trying to clinch that place in the chase.
Thank you.
Kevin Harvick, championship leader in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, driver of the Shell Pennzoil Chevy for Richard Childress Racing. He starts 8th today. Coming up, why this Michigan race is so important to a few different groups. the manufacturers who call the Detroit area home. That and more when NASCAR Countdown continues from Michigan. ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball continues tonight with a battle of NL East rivals from Citi Field. Raul Ibanez and the Phillies take on David Wright and the New York Mets on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. Game also available on ESPN3.com. This morning here at Michigan International Speedway, there was a ceremony where the track honored the Wood Brothers team on their 60 years of competition in NASCAR. Among those in the ceremony are Dale Jarrett, who scored his first Sprint Cup win here driving for the Wood Brothers, and Bill Elliott, a 7-time Michigan winner who'll drive the famous 21 today. How about that? Leonard, Len, and Eddie, 60 years of racing for the Wood Brothers.
Fantastic.
A look at the most successful teams in NASCAR competition at this track shows the Wood Brothers and Roush Fenway Racing tied for the most wins with 11 apiece. This Michigan track has always been a point of emphasis for Jack Roush. His company headquarters are just a 63-mile drive from here in the Detroit suburb of Livonia. NASCAR Now lead reporter Marty Smith was on the scene on Friday when Jack Roush made his return to the track and spoke with reporters. Marty, what did Jack and his drivers have to say?
Well, Alan, on July 27th, Roush crashed his plane attempting to land at an air show in Wisconsin, and he suffered serious injuries, but it didn't keep him down long. Despite a 2-week stay in the hospital and a series of surgeries, he missed just one team conference call, giving his organization a new respect for their leader.
I have a whole new level of respect for his commitment. You know, I've talked to him on the phone, I don't know, 3 or 4 times in the last couple weeks. I've gone and visited him, and literally we talked about his injuries and his predicament, maybe 3% of the conversation, and the rest of it is how are we going to go out and win these races, and you know, what can he do to help, and that's, you know, for a guy sitting in the hospital with everything that he's gone through, for him to just be focused on the same things, you know, keeping his, you know, staying on task and you know, being, you know, not wavering from that. That's amazing. I mean, you know, that tells me a lot about Jack Roush.
Roush was released from the hospital Wednesday, and to no one's surprise was here in the Michigan garage 2 days later to watch his cars qualify. And with typical brutal honesty, he offered the media his account of the crash.
On a trip on arrival into Oshkosh, Wisconsin, I was put in conflict with the flight path of another airplane close to the ground, and I was unable to address the conflict and keep the airplane flying. And so I ground looped the airplane, and I got a compression fracture in my back. I got some damage to my left eye, and I've got damage to my left cheek, and but I'll recover everything but the side of my left eye.
Roush said Friday he feels lucky just to be here. Alan, imagine if one of his cars goes to victory lane today, how that will make it feel.
It will be a big time for sure. Marty Smith, NASCAR Now lead reporter, thanks for the update. Certainly great to see Jack Roush back at the track. Despite a season that's produced less than hoped for results for Roush, 3 of his 4 cars are currently in the top 12 in points and therefore in chase qualified spots. But they're not comfortably in by any means in 3 of the bottom 4 spots, and they've got work to do over these next 4 races. Greg Biffle, the highest qualified Roush Fenway driver today, the Pocono winner, starts 6th, Mike Massaro.
And certainly, Alan, Greg Biffle has thought a lot about Jack Roush lately, but as we all know, Jack doesn't want the spotlight on him. All he really cares about is the performance of the race cars. So how good is yours?
Oh, my car's pretty good. You know, 3 and 4 Fusion ran good right off the truck, really fast. It's been fast in all these practices. And I think we got a great opportunity to win here today, you know, just to see what this weather does. I don't know how my car is going to run, whether it's going to like the sun or the shade, but it'll be what it is. And I feel good about having a good chance today.
It's crunch time. 11th in the standings, 4 regular season races remaining. Considering that situation, how do you approach today's race?
Well, we just approach it, you know, and try and stay out of the mess. You know, we were going to be fine last week and unfortunately got caught up in some stuff. But, you know, I think as far as we go, we're performing well enough. You know, we got good pit stops, all that. We're going to be fine, and I think we can race our way in. We just have to keep clean. Good luck. Thank you.
Alan, Greg describes this track as his favorite, and you can understand why. He's got a couple of Cup Series victories here and 2 in the Truck Series, too.
Starting 6th today, Mike. Thank you. Let's talk about the Roush cars for a minute. They finally got that breakthrough first win of the year a couple of races ago at Pocono. Where do they stand against the competition right now?
Well, right now, I think they've caught up. At the beginning of the year, no doubt they were behind. In fact, we were talking about maybe the new FR9 Ford engine. It might be behind a little bit. There might be problems here, problems there. But they have righted the ship just at the nick of time. They're running good right now, and they're legitimate contenders for this championship.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're just now starting to pick up momentum as we go into the chase. Talk with Jimmy Finning, Matt Kenseth's crew chief, as well as Greg Biffle. And they had talked early in the year. We heard Jack Roush talking about their race simulations, how they set the race cars up before they leave the shop with the engineers. That was a little bit off. It's gotten better. The FR9 engine, it's proven to be a strong power plant. They are just now starting to round into form, and they could be a serious threat to this championship.
I mentioned Jack Roush's headquarters being just 63 miles from this track. These Michigan races always have been a point of emphasis for him. The manufacturers, 3 of the 4 participating in the sport, headquarters nearby. As a driver, Rusty, when you came to Michigan, how did your relationship with the manufacturer affect you?
It was very important to me. I mean, I knew the manufacturers put a lot of money into our organization, testing, you know, a lot of things. It might be money, testing, aerodynamics. I could go on and on, Alan, the things that the manufacturers do for us. And I will tell you, as a driver, every single time that I came to Michigan, I really wanted to win, not for myself, but for them.
I'll tell you a fun story about a display one of the manufacturers has here today. There's a car called Sweepstakes on display from the Henry Ford Museum here at the racetrack. That car, when Henry Ford was trying to get his auto business off the ground, he set up a match race against the guy that was the top race driver, the hot shoe at the time.
Yeah.
And he not only won the race, he smoked him.
Oh, man.
And the money he used in winning that race in that car called Sweepstakes is what Henry Ford used to start the Ford Motor Company.
Wow.
With those skinny tires?
Wow.
With those skinny tires. When the Blue Oval Gang says their roots in racing go all the way back to the beginnings of the company,
it really goes way
they're
back.
not kidding. It goes all the way back. Executives from a lot of the manufacturers here in the garage today. Now, another team owner who's based in the Detroit area is Roger Penske. Penske, the lone Dodge representative, his team's in the field. Kurt Busch led a lot of the June race here before finishing second in his Dodge, and he starts 13th today, Vince.
He was indeed pretty strong back in June and had a good run, but they brought a new car here this weekend for this race. So after such a strong finish in June, what are you looking for from this new car this weekend?
Just trying to find more things to build more of a portfolio for when we get into the chase. So we know that car's good from June. It's on the shelf right now, ready to go for the chase. So just trying something a little different. This car's been very loose, though, all weekend. And through practice yesterday, we struggled a little bit. So I went back to our June setup and tightened it up from there. With the tougher track conditions this time around, with it being looser and hot out, it's going to be a battle for everybody, but right now we're on the loose side, hoping to get containment of it, I guess.
Currently, you've got a pretty solid position as far as the chase is concerned. You've won a couple of races, so you have some bonus points, but how big at this point would another win be for those 10 additional bonus points for the chase?
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, winning is obviously the best thing in the world. We get to take those 10 points with us to the chase, and doing it here in the backyard of Dodge and everybody here in Detroit, it'd be a Dodge sweep this weekend if we can do it. So pushing hard, and everybody at Miller Lite's looking for us to get a good strong run in before the chase. And once the chase starts, though, we got to have all our ducks in a row.
Looking forward to having you on as our in-race reporter today as well.
Great, sounds good. I don't know if it'll be all PG rated, though.
We hope so. Kurt will be our in-race reporter. Go to ESPN.com if you've got a question. Keyword, ask the driver.
I love it. Thank you, Vince, and thank you, Kurt. Still to come, last week's winner, Juan Pablo Montoya, expected to be in the hunt for another win today after a strong run in qualifying. And the 4-time defending champ, Jimmy Johnson, trying to win at one of the few speedways where victory has eluded him. He could use another trophy. We'll discuss why when NASCAR Countdown returns. ESPN's NASCAR Countdown coming to you live from the Michigan International Speedway today. The 400-miler for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series goes green in a little over 45 minutes. Juan Pablo Montoya starts 5th today in the Earnhardt Ganassi Racing 42 Chevy. Montoya won last Sunday at Watkins Glen, capping what had been a rather difficult few racing weeks.
Montoya is really kind of checking out of the field right now. Juan Pablo Montoya is making a 4-tire stop.
It's about 15-20 minutes. We'll never make the right call. He's talking himself out of it, then we'll just park it.
Contacts with the yellow out, and it's Juan Pablo Montoya.
Man, what disappointment for the 42.
You going to come to Charlotte, and we're going to practice pit stops, pal. That's twice. Screw you.
It certainly seems like there may be some trust issues lingering from Indianapolis.
Here we are at Watkins Glen. We see Montoya now getting ready to pressure his teammate for the lead.
3 wide to the outside, trying to take the lead. It's not going to work. Montoya gets away.
Keep doing your thing, man. He's driving like a maniac.
Nobody is challenging this man, Juan Pablo Montoya.
He is doing everything right all afternoon.
Juan Pablo Montoya, his second Cup win.
More than anybody else. Great job, everybody. This is what it's all about right here.
Yeah, the brake guard 2 weeks ago was my fault, and hopefully this makes up a little bit.
And with me now is the Watkins Glen winner, Juan Pablo Montoya. Juan, what did that win do for you and this team?
I think it was huge. You know, we shown everybody, you know, that this Target team has the ability to win, and we always had the speed. We just never really been able to close the deal. So it was really nice to close the deal, do a really good job. And here I think we got a good car again, so it's pretty exciting.
All right, 2 road course victories, still looking for that first oval win. Will it come today?
I don't know if it'll come today, but the funny thing is, if you had asked me before last week if I thought we had a better chance to win in an oval on a road course, I would have said yes. I think, you know, road course, yes, is my background and everything, but these cars drive so different than where I came from. So, you know, I was really happy to get a road course win, to tell you the truth.
Well, best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, hey, guys, certainly a reason to believe he'll be good today. After all, Juan has led at least 1 lap in each of the last 6 races.
And he starts in 5th position today. Thank you, Michael. Rusty, what's the worst fight you ever had with a crew chief in your career, and how did it affect you?
I've had a lot of fights with him. I fought with those crew chiefs all the time. Probably some of the worst discussions I ever had, though, was my crew chief, Robin Pemberton, over 2 tires and 4 tires. He called for 2. I found I need 4. If I needed 4, we needed 2. We went back and forth with this 2 and 4 tire stuff, and Barry Dotson, him, and I become to blows close many times. But I did find out one thing. As I aged a little bit and calmed down, I got a little bit more mature. Then I started understanding how tough it really is on a crew chief. It's really tough.
And you were able to work through it and get
I was
past
able to
it.
calm down a bit and kind of right my own ship a little bit.
You heard Montoya. Is this team healed?
Temporarily, and that happens with every race team because it is such a high-stress position when you are the driver and the crew chief and making those calls. But I think it's the expectations that everyone around this race team has, as well as these 2 guys, Brian Patty as crew chief and Juan. This young man is a tremendously talented driver, and we've seen a lack of success of open-wheel drivers come into this sport, but the expectations for Juan Montoya are different. We expect him to win and win a lot, and it just has not happened, and we're waiting on that to happen. Until it does, there's always an opportunity for that old wound to open back up, I do believe.
As Juan said a few minutes ago, we'll see if they can close the deal today here in Michigan. Now, starting ahead of Montoya on the front row for this race is Jimmy Johnson. The 4-time champ is hoping that this track, one of the few he hasn't won on yet, can be the place that turns around what's been a difficult stretch of races.
This has been one of our worst years.
Jimmy Johnson.
Man, it's incredible. Can
you believe this?
No, but they have absolutely fallen off the face of the earth.
There's a lot of things that go on in a race teams. There's emotions, there's performance on the racetrack, there's evolution within the sport with the mechanics of the car, the engine, so on and so forth. And it's been a little bit difficult for us this year.
Could be a big break for Jimmy Johnson, and Chad Kahne to work on this car.
Get the tire in there. Hurry up. Hurry up. Too late. Forget it. Just stop. Just make sure we get the splitter fixed right in lap time.
Very competitive and haven't been able to close the deal.
Your race leader is Jimmy Johnson.
But here comes Jeff.
This is getting good right now.
We've had a flat tire.
I don't know if I got a left rear flat or what, but I got really loose the last couple times.
Even a bad pit call or whatever it is and we lose track position is very uncharacteristic of our team, and we're trying to get on top of it. And I think we're making some strides in the right direction.
I've had such a fortunate run here that I can't be, you know, in a bad mood or kind of a brat about things. I just got to go to work, and so does the team, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to keep our heads down and focused.
Jimmy qualified on the outside of the front row for today's race, and he said afterwards that that run gave your team confidence, but also sent a message to the other guys that you guys are still in it. Do you need a win today to underscore that message?
No, not necessarily. I mean, for ourselves, we're really in a world with blinders on. We need to make sure we're doing the best job we can at the 48 team and at Hendrick Motorsports. There's no doubt that some other teams have certainly caught us, and if in some cases have passed us. You know, I think that the 1.5-mile, 2-mile tracks are probably our weakness right now, but we're working very hard as a group to get better on those tracks. Our qualifying effort was strong and very close to a pole, which I really wanted because it's been since Homestead last year. But, you know, we just need to go out and have a solid day. We've had fast race cars and have led a lot of laps over the last month and a half or whatever, but just haven't been there at the end when it counted. Last weekend, we were coming back from a flat tire and drove up through all those cars on a road course and got to the top 10 and was spun out. So, you know, we've got a lot of good things going on. We just need to smooth it out over the course of a race day and score the points that we deserve and start with that today and build some momentum going into the chase.
I don't know if this place falls into the weakness category, but it does fall into the winless category. What's it been about this place?
Fuel mileage last year. Yeah. You know, we were so close, so close. We've led a lot of laps here, but haven't been to victory lane. And I think strategy at the end of the race has always been tough for us. We've taken 4 and got beat by 2 late in the race. We've taken whatever the opposite. I mean, we've done it all, and we've had fuel. We've had everything happen to us. So it's been quite a ride here, and we look forward to winning here, hopefully today. If not, want a Chevy in victory lane. And I just want to say hello to my family back at home. Can't wait to get back, and let's go racing.
They've got the speed. We'll keep an eye on that strategy, Alan.
All right, Dave, Jimmy, thank you. Again, Jimmy Johnson starting on the front row. As we get close to the championship run, there are some title contenders who appear to be faring much better than others. Kevin Harvick, who joined us earlier, 6 top 5 finishes in the last 9 races. He starts 8th. Tony Stewart has scored more points in the last 10 races than any other driver. He starts 4th today. On the other hand, Jimmy Johnson's average finish in the last 5, 23rd place. Not so good. And Denny Hamlin, who won here in June, but in 7 races since has had only 2 top 10 finishes, and Hamlin starts 33rd today. Johnson and Hamlin, all right, they're going to be in the chase. We know that. But are these guys just trying things and experimenting, or are there some real causes for concern for Johnson and Hamlin?
There are causes for concern for sure. I mean, I can't believe there's out there experimenting and trying things and sacrificing big races like the Brickyard 400 and a track that's so good for Denny Hamlin like Pocono, places like that where they just throw it out the window to play around and try stuff. No, I really think they got some issues, but I think a lot of teams had issues all year long, and right now they're just kind of in a ditch and they're working themselves out. I do think they will come out of the ditch really quickly, though.
I agree with that, but yeah, there's no experimentation going on here. You only experiment when you're in a position like a Kevin Harvick or someone like that who's been really consistent and have had a lot of good runs put together. These guys, both of them, have really struggled. We've seen some odd finishes, mechanical failures, bad pit calls, all types of things that are uncharacteristic for both of these teams, and there's a lot of pressure on Denny Hamlin and Jimmy Johnson to perform well today.
We talked with Harvick earlier. Let's talk about Tony Stewart. He hasn't won yet. Can he or can he not be considered a realistic title contender before he wins a race?
He is a title contender, no doubt about that. We just showed that graphic where he's picked up more points than anybody. Now, I've said earlier in the year, I think going into Indianapolis, if you're going to win this title, you got to be strong enough to win a race. This might be the exception. This fella right here is consistent as you know what, week after week, and of late, Brad, in my mind, he just keeps getting stronger.
Yeah, Tony Stewart, when he closes the window net on anything, he is a threat to win a title. But I do believe, like Rusty's saying, you have to win going into this chase. I think you have, because you're going to have to win a couple of races in the chase as well. So I think you have to build that momentum. He has not done that yet, but we still got a little bit of time.
Does he need to win before the chase?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I think he does. Yeah. I really think anyone who's going to win the championship has to win before the chase for momentum.
It'd be interesting to see it. Again, Tony starts in 4th position today, continuing to pursue his first win of the year. As we look at the lineup for this race, it has an interesting twist to it because you got some guys up the front, like Johnson, who stumbled a little bit lately. Boyer, we talked to earlier in the show, who's that bubble guy in the championship. And then you've got guys like Harvick up in the top 10 who have nothing to lose. Stewart, really not much to lose. He's probably going to be in the chase the way his situation is. Yeah. Then you find some guys way in the back of the field like Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin, Dale Earnhardt Jr. way down in the lineup for this race. A real interesting look to this grid.
Yeah, it is. There is no doubt about that. I was looking at some of the Hendrick cars, and particularly Dale Earnhardt Jr. That bothered me a little bit because I really thought that this team was getting better and better. Yeah. And I think they'll get to the front. They'll advance themselves to the front very quickly, but still have a bad qualifying run like that. And then take a look at Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon's back there too. But then another teammate, Jimmy Johnson, all the way at the very top. It makes you think that these guys don't run the same setups at all. Are they that much different?
Yeah. It's interesting, and Denny Hamlin being back in 33rd position really shocked me. I thought that this would be a week he would pick it back up and start taking those strides. And who knows, he and Mike Ford are great when it comes to pit calls throughout the day. They can get themselves in position, but it's a little bit shocking.
Tony Stewart, just off the stage from being introduced. He's with Doc.
I don't know. You know what they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And Tony, these are visiting with Juan Pablo and Clint Boyer. And Tony, your team hasn't been on fire, but they have been hot since you came here back in June. 8 top 10 finishes in 9 races. What's turned it around for you guys?
Honestly, I believe hard work. I mean, I'm really proud of everybody at Stewart Haas Racing. There's a lot of guys back at the shop that don't get a chance to come to the races on the weekends that have really been making the difference here. And just really proud of our organization. We just got a really good group of guys, and it's like being a proud father. I mean, I'm really proud of our guys.
I know you roll off 4th today. Good luck to you. You got to jump on the Humvee and go say hey to the fans.
Yeah, they won't let me drive for some reason. I don't know if they've seen my driving record or what, but they won't let me drive one of these cool Humvees. But we'll have a good time with the fans nonetheless.
Hey, good luck today.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Tony Stewart. Alan?
All right, Doc, thank you. Driver introductions underway as we get ready for today's 400-mile race to get underway at the Michigan International Speedway. A beautiful day here at Michigan International Speedway. Go to Goodyear.com to show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Goodyear Blimp joining us at the track, providing our aerial coverage. 1 year ago in this race, it was Brian Vickers who drove to victory lane, the first win for the Red Bull Racing team. Who could have known then that 365 days later, we would have seen Vickers step out of his ride due to a medical condition. And Brian continues to recuperate from that. The team's 2 cars in the June race at this track 7 weeks ago crashed together. Pretty low point for the team. Casey Mears and Scott Speed getting together. And now an announcement this week that Kasey Kahne will drive a Red Bull car next season while he awaits his 2012 ride with Hendrick Motorsports to open up. Oh, by the way, Casey nearly won that June race here at Michigan. He finished 2nd there, and he starts on the pole today, Vince.
That's exactly right, and it's going to be nice to be starting up front. I know we'll talk about that in a moment, but first of all, congratulations on the Red Bull deal. And what kind of cool things are you hoping to do as a Red Bull athlete?
Man, I don't really know yet. I think it's, I'd say there'll be some pretty neat opportunities next year. And I just look forward to trying to, the competition side, trying to win races, run up front, and be happy and have some fun. And I think we can do that next year, so it should be a good time.
You're 133 points out of a chase position now, 4 races to go. A strong result today, obviously, is key. You start from the pole, some clean air. How big of is it to get a good result today?
Well, it's a big deal. We qualified really well Friday with our Budweiser Ford, and we need a strong run today. We probably need to win a race or 2 in order to beat these guys, because everybody's running so good right now. It gets down to it. It's how it is every year. All the cars are pretty tight, so we'll see what happens. But I feel like we have a good shot today. Our car was actually really good yesterday.
Alan, of Casey's 11 career wins, 5 have come from the pole. He'd like to add another today.
Car 9 to lead the field to the green from the number 1 spot on the grid for Kasey Kahne. Thank you, Vince. First things first, an update on Brian Vickers, who's continuing his treatment for the blood clots that forced him to step out of his ride for the rest of the year. Vickers planning on returning to his ride at Daytona in February. He's going to be at the track in Bristol next week. Kahne is going to drive a Red Bull Toyota next year, while waiting for his Hendrick Chevy to open up in 2012. Unusual enough, but then what about the Red Bull team? From where they were a year ago, winning their first race, to now, is Brian Vickers coming back or not? What about Scott Speed? He says he's under contract for next year or not, but Kasey Kahne's coming in. I mean, can you imagine in 365 days' time?
It'll happen. We'll get the answer later on. The answer we know right now is what's going to happen with that team is we don't know. We really don't know. But I do know one thing. That's a really good team.
With all that to play out, Kasey Kahne, what happens when you tell a team you're leaving? They're on the pole here.
Well, yeah, that's the key right there. They're on the pole. I mean, what happens? He goes out and sits on the pole. I mean, it really doesn't affect a driver that much, believe it or not. He knows where he's going. He knows what's happened. And a true racer, every time he gets behind that wheel, flips that switch and gets ready to take off, it's all about winning races. He doesn't care about all the stuff that's distracting him outside the car. But I will tell you, on a Monday, you'll start talking about it. It'll be water cooler talk. The guys in the shop will be kind of huddled up in the corners. But when he gets to the racetrack is the place that corrects everything, Brad. It puts everybody back in perspective, and they'll want to win when they get to the track and forget the rest of that stuff.
Yeah. With all the questions about 2011 set aside for Mark Martin. How's it affect him?
Oh, I think this is the world off of Mark Martin's shoulders. He can now go race hard, be aggressive, lay that car out on the line like he's used to doing without all of the distractions. Everyone's always constantly asking him about the Red Bull situation. He's wore out about that. Now Mark can dig in and do what he does best. That's drive a race car.
Mark Martin getting ready to go in the Hendrick 5 car today. Another driver move in our J-Ski News and Notes. Paul Menard moving from Richard Petty Motorsports to Richard Childress Racing next year. Childress adding a 4th car for the 29-year-old Menard. Two-time champ Terry Labonte says he's coming back.
Come on, Terry.
Hoping to run a few races this year and the full series next year in a car he'll co-own with former owner Billy Stavola.
Hey, that's cool.
And the move of a Sprint Cup Series race from Atlanta to Kentucky Motor Speedway officially announced this week. Track owner Bruton Smith says he'll add 50,000 seats and 200 acres of camping there for the July 9th date. The full 2011 Sprint Cup schedule will be unveiled on Wednesday. Fuel mileage, pit strategy, and some of the keys to winning this 400-mile place at a race where yellow is a not often seen color. Next on NASCAR Countdown.
NASCAR Countdown is brought to you by One-A-Day Men's Pro Edge, the multivitamin with more of what matters.
Almost set to go racing at the Michigan International Speedway. 24 minutes from the green flag. Let's go back to the grid and Doc.
Thank you, Alan. You know, it's rare that an individual can celebrate a birthday and a birth all in the same week, but that is the case for Jeff Gordon. You celebrate your 39th birthday August 4th, and this past Monday, little Leo Benjamin joined the crowd there, the Gordon family. Congratulations. How's your week been?
Oh, my gosh. My week's been spectacular. Busy, but amazing. Hi to Ingrid, Ella, and Leo. Can't wait, to get this race going, see what our DuPont Chevrolet will do, and get home to them. So, yeah, it's been just an amazing week. To come home from the hospital, all 4 of us riding in the car together was really special.
And for you Jeff Gordon fans, he may be starting back in 36 today, but folks, he was very good in happy hour, so he should be fine when they wave the green flag. Alan?
Doc, thanks. We'll keep an eye on car 24 coming up from the back during this race. Now, no driver, Jeff Gordon or anyone else, wins without a good team and a good pit crew behind him. But there's more to making those 13-second stops on pit road than just brute force. There's a little bit of art involved, too. As Chris Connolly tells us, it's poetry in motion.
The skills that pit crews taught make gracefulness an afterthought. To get it done's what gets them through their day. But beneath that racetrack sun, you'll watch 7 move as one. As choreographed as classical ballet. Sneakers poised atop the wall. They're awaiting duty's call when they'll swarm a car from windshield to exhaust. 4 fresh tires, gotta scurry, and that gas man better hurry. This pit road can see races won or lost. Lug nuts loosened, then made tight. Stop and drop, both left and right. Tire changers seem so fluid with those wrenches. See the jackman pull the right rear. Watch him roll that worn-out Goodyear. Can't win a race without guys in the trenches. They're adrenalized and fast, and then once the pit stop's passed, there's exhilaration and some quick high fives. Back to tires, flamed and ready. Their on-track focus remaining steady till a yellow caution flag arrives. That's when pit road's a commotion. It's no time for wasted motion. Don't want the crew to tangle with some stranger. Yet if their car's not slowed and past its place along pit road, they'll guide it back, no matter what the danger. When the checkered flag is theirs, it's the answer to their prayers, and the pit crew makes its way to victory lane, where they're laughing and they're joking. Hey, those Sprint Cup girls are soaking. And they don't pour gasoline, they spray champagne.
Well, for any of these pit crews today, if their day ends with champagne like that piece just did, it'll be a good day at the races.
Big time good day.
Sure, absolutely. All right, some quick hitters here as we look forward to what to watch for in the race. Starting with tires. Last 2 oval track races, we've seen a 2-tire strategy at the end win the race. What happens today?
You answer that one.
I'm so sick of these 2 tires. Look, I've been around this sport for 25 years. You've always taken 4 tires, but this year, people have been getting slaughtered not taking 2. You got to take 2, I guess.
We'll see. We don't see many cautions at Michigan. The June race had only 14 laps of yellow all day. That means fuel mileage frequently can come into play. Rusty, I know you hate fuel mileage races, but as a driver, when you're getting ready to begin a race and you know this is a possibility, how's it affect you?
It affects you big time. It's like you said, I hate fuel mileage races. No driver can stand fuel mileage races because that means if you got to save fuel, you got to come off the gas pedal. You got to conserve, and you got to try to not touch that gas as much as you can. Treat it like an egg, very, very softly. And when your crew chief comes across and say, I need a couple laps, I was like Kevin Harvick a little while ago. Where do you want me to find it? You know, so it's a tough one, and it's aggravating, I will tell you.
It may well come into play today. Guys that are on the chase bubble, a fuel mileage race really gets nerve-wracking for them.
I'm telling you, that old throat gets a little bit tight and those palms are sweaty because if you miss your fuel calculation at this racetrack, you are done.
All right, now, I was going to ask you guys for one more thing to watch for in today's race, but I'm going to take that spotlight from you for just a second because I want you to look at this. Sky looks beautiful right now, right? Check out to the west of the racetrack.
I want to see
now, there's only a 30% chance of an isolated thunder shower in the forecast, but I just want to establish there is a little stuff out there in case it hits.
I am very optimistic it will not rain.
All right.
If it hits us, like my dad just said, if it hits you, it's 100%.
Yeah. The weather rock will be wet. All right. Now, hear this out, Brad.
All right,
Ready?
I'm here.
It's time to go racing. We hope for very little slow pacing. Sit out and hold tight. No running to grab a bite. Next, the green flag will unfold, and it's something to behold.
Oh, he's a poet.
What in the wide, wide world?
All right, I know it's lame, but I'm trying to stay in the game. This is NASCAR Countdown, where Brad's about to melt down.
Didn't even know it.
ESPN's coverage of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series today brings you the Carfax 400 from the Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. Drive out of downtown Detroit on I-94 to US 12 and up that road a ways, you'll find this massive track where they've been racing since 1968. With the headquarters of Ford, Dodge, and Chevrolet so close by, it's a big day for bragging rights, and although they might not speak it in the spirit of sportsmanship, they all want to keep Toyota out of victory lane. Let's go trackside now for the opening ceremony.
Race fans, here with this afternoon's invocation, Pastor Doug Bradshaw from the Williamston Free Methodist Church.
Let us pray. Thank you, God, for this glorious day to go racing. We pray that you will protect and keep safe each driver and crew member and our beloved pace car driver today. We ask that you would be with, guide, and keep safe all the military personnel who protect and defend our freedom both at home and worldwide. And we thank you for those first responders, firemen, policemen, paramedics who rush into danger to come to our aid. And we pray that you will continue to heal those Detroit firemen who were injured this last week. This day has been given as a gift by you. We praise you for it. In Jesus' name, amen.
And now with our national anthem, Virgin recording artists Saving Abel, here's Jared Weeks and Scott Bartlett.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wheeled at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, it gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, see, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of
Rockets red glare and bombs bursting in air. And the flyover here at Michigan as now the drivers begin to buckle in. Just clarifying something from the invocation a minute ago. The pace car driver for the day is Coach Tom Izzo of the Michigan State Spartan College basketball program.
They're going to keep him?
Apparently so. So we're getting ready to go here at Michigan. Someone else to keep an eye on today, Carl Edwards, starts in the back in 24th place, but a great record here at Michigan. He says he's got a good car for the day, and it's his birthday, 31 years old. I'm sure they can find some candles and cake for Victory Lane. The engines fire next.
Carfax 400 at Michigan is brought to you by Carfax, free at your used car dealer. Just say, show me the Carfax. And Viagra.
Outside around the side, form a circle forward. I'm an outside around the side, following me a farm boy.
Road weary and ready to ignite. Teams and drivers roll into Michigan International Speedway, fine-tuned to fight their way into the chase. Today, in the Irish Hills of Michigan, they must rely on skill, strategy, and a whole lot of luck.
Saving all you can save.
With Irish eyes smiling and devilish engines roaring, fuel management could decide who captures the checkered flag and who comes up empty for risking it all.
Mark Martin's catching Greg Biffle. Biffle's out of gas.
Green rolling hills and asphalt straightaways, spring-fed lakes and depleted gas tanks. 400 miles of flat-out racing. One key decision can decide it all.
You got pressure, go. When you got pressure, go.
What does it mean? Is it cars and trucks need gasoline?
I don't know what your fuel deal is, how much you've been saving, but this racing, if we win, we're going to win it. Yeah, baby! I'm out of gas!
Those who have never won here push the limits. Those who have won hope they remember just how far their luck can go. Racing through the Irish Hills of Michigan. Cars, crews, gasoline, skills, guts, luck.
Luck, strategy, bravery, and much more needed to win today's Carfax 400, ESPN's live coverage. Coming to you from the Michigan International Speedway in Brooklyn, Michigan. This is the 83rd NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race at this track. Over the years, all of the sports grades from Pearson and Petty to Elliott and Earnhardt and into more modern days, Gordon, Martin, and a couple of guys named Wallace and Jarrett have won here. Someone's going to take home the trophy, but how? Brute speed, strategy, and fuel mileage? That's the fun. You just never know. Have to wait and see. I'll bet we'll see a little 3-wide and 4-wide racing at times, too. It's a track the drivers love. Those drivers getting buckled in now and getting ready to get down to business. 400 miles of competition on this big, fast track. We've told you about the weather picture. We'll keep an eye on the radar. For now, we go trackside for the command to start them up.
And now, race fans, here were the most famous words in motorsports. Your Grand Marshals, Virginia Craig and Evander Holyfield.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Fired up. I got you, buddy. He's laughing. Sam, you read me down there?
All right, cars are fired up. They won't sit there and warm up for long because it is a warm afternoon here in the Irish Hills of Michigan as we get set to go racing for 400 miles. It is time for us to go upstairs to the man who'll lead our call of this race, Marty Reed, the man who holds the record for the fastest 400-mile race ever here, Dale Jarrett, and the birthday boy, Andy Petrie. Happy 39th, Andy.
Thanks, Al. 39? Okay, that's your gift from him. We're giving him the same gift you guys gave Rusty yesterday, a pair of socks. You're going to love them. Marty. You're welcome. Hey, let's talk about momentum because we're 4 races away from the chase. So let's look at the last 4 races. Roush Fenway Racing right now on the upswing, 12.9 average amongst their team. But Hendrick Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, just a tick under 18.
Well, for the Roush team, what a great time to come into this racetrack with momentum, because Roush cars have won 11 races here, and we have a Ford on the pole, Casey Kahne. He's not a Roush car, but he's a Ford. And Greg Biffle, he's just been on fire lately. He won it at Pocono. He almost won at Indy, and even at the road course, he was fast. He didn't get a good finish, but he was fast. So it's a great time, and Greg Biffle might even have a good shot to win today.
Yeah, and on the other side of that is Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing, who have been in what you would call a slump for these guys. And, you know, the biggest thing that I see, especially at Hendrick Motorsports and Jimmy Johnson and his 4-time championship team, is that they're not able to adjust this race car as good throughout the race. We've seen them be fast. We've seen them start up front just like they are today. But when it comes time to adjust, they kind of head towards the back. So see if they can make a better adjustment here today.
Let's talk about the race for 12th and the final position in the chase between Mark Martin and Clint Boyer. With the news that Casey Kahne's going to go to Red Bull, is that the worst possible news Clint Boyer could have gotten?
Well, yeah, focus Mark Martin can be dangerous. I'm telling you, that guy's going for that 12th spot. He wants to make this chase. But Clint Boyer knows how to race for that spot. He's always racing for that bubble spot. So I see him kind of tied. I guess the tiebreaker for me would be the performance of the organizations.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, and the performance favors Clint Boyer. Mark Martin and his team have to kind of get on things here in these next 4 races if they plan on being part of the chase.
Well, there's one of our onboard cameras, as you saw, with Clint Boyer. And we're going to be talking to our in-race reporter, Kurt Busch. He's got 2 wins here at Michigan. He won the pole and finished 3rd here back in June. And DJ, why don't we dial him up and see what he's thinking?
Hey, Kurt, Dale Jarrett, the ESPN. You have a copy?
10-4, GJ.
Hey, Kirk, thanks for talking with us today, and we'll get right to a mailbag question. Greg in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania asks, how long does it take to develop a good working relationship with a crew chief, and do you think you have the same chemistry with Steve Addington that you did with Jimmy Finnegan in 2004?
Well, sometimes it happens right away with a crew chief and a driver, just with their knowledge of the race car and what it takes to win. And I feel like Steve and I have hit it off really well right away. We won at Atlanta earlier this year, and then to go to a track that I struggle on, I leaned on Steve, and he helped me out a lot at Charlotte, and we were able to sweep the races there. So I definitely feel like this is a great combination, and it definitely reminds me of 2004 when Jimmy Fenning and I were on top of our game.
Hey, Kurt, let's talk about today. Completely different racetrack that you're going to face right now. Temperatures up, a lot more sunlight than what you saw in practice yesterday. Have y'all made adjustments, and how do you look like that's going to affect your race car and team today?
Yeah, we've definitely tightened her up a little bit. The way the racetrack's been, it's been loose for us all weekend. Maybe it's just been our new car. A little bit more of an aero change to it, and it's been loose. And so same setup as June, just tightened it up a little bit, and hopefully some cloud cover will come on in, and we'll be dialed in later in the race with the Miller Lite Dodge.
All right, Kirk, thanks for talking with us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later on. Now, Andy's going to talk to your crew chief, Steve Addington.
Hey, Steve, Andy Petrie in the booth. Do you have us?
Gotcha, Andy. Go ahead.
Hey, Steve, we just heard Kurt and Dale talking about this racetrack being different, and it is quite different today. What kind of adjustments are you anticipating making with this race car?
We'll work with it. We'll see. Start out here. Like Kurt said, we tightened the car up overnight to anticipating the sun being out this afternoon, and the clouds are going to be in and out. So we'll see what we got right here, and we'll work on our air pressures and wedge adjustments all through the race.
Okay, Steve, thanks for talking to us. Good luck today.
Thank you, Andy.
So the 43 cars are making their way out of pit road and on to the track for the pace laps. We'll take a break and come back with the green flag at Michigan. 1 week ago, we were on the 2.45-mile layout over in Watkins Glen, New York. But this week, as we zero in the Irish Hills of Michigan to the Michigan International Speedway, a 2-mile, 18-degree banked oval. We've got a bunch of onboard cameras for you. We've already talked to Kurt Busch, who is our in-race reporter. We've also got Denny Hamlin, Greg Biffle, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Burton, Clint Boyer, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. And on the pole, as you heard, if you were with us during Countdown, Casey Kahne. And 5 of Casey's 11 Cup wins were from the pole position, including his win here back in June of 2006. Does history repeat itself? We'll find out in about 400 miles. 4 guys did not make this field. As you see the starting grid come across the top of your screen, Mike Bliss, J.J. Yaley, Scott Riggs, and Casey Mears were sent home on Friday after qualifying. Let's get the latest from pit road before we go green. Mike Massaro, you're up.
Well, Marty, for Matt Kenseth, momentum may not necessarily be headed in the direction he would like. In fact, he hasn't finished inside the top 10 since May. During that span, he's dropped from 3rd all the way to 10th in the championship standings. What bodes well for him today, however, is his Michigan record. Kenseth is a 2-time winner here. Couple that with a very strong qualifying effort, and many people believe he may be on the verge of spinning some Michigan magic once again, something he certainly could use to bolster his chase chances. Dave Burns?
Mike, last week at Watkins Glen, Kyle Busch had to start at the rear of the field, but he raced hard all day, got his way all the way to 8th by the end of the day. Sort of the same scenario today. He ran his fastest lap of the day, of the weekend on Friday, but it was only 18th best in qualifying. Crew Chief Dave Rogers told me not to worry. He said, our lap times show we're off more than I think we are. We've got the car close to what Kyle needs for the race, and that means Kyle could be passing more cars this weekend on his way to his first ever victory in the Cup car here at Michigan. Vince Welch?
Denny Hamlin won this race in June, and he dominated. In fact, they have brought back the same car for this race this weekend. But Hamlin has not won since that victory here in June. And in fact, in the 7 races since the Michigan victory, his average finish has been about 20th. That's not the direction they want to be headed as the chase approaches. Crew Chief Mike Ford believes they've got ground to make up on some of their competition, and it begins with 400 miles today. Jerry Punch?
Well, there's arguably no team that has more incentive to win here today than the 99 of Carl Edwards. Why? Well, first of all, Carl hasn't had a Cup win since November of 2008. Folks, that's 21 months ago. And also today, Carl celebrates a birthday and an anniversary. He's 31 today. And this weekend marks the 6-year anniversary of his Cup debut here at Michigan. But most importantly, today, their owner, Jack Roush, who survived a scary plane crash with critical injuries, is back at the racetrack. And not any track. Jack Roush is back at the track that is his home racetrack. And he wants to win here more than any other place they go. They want to win this one, Marty Reed, for the Cat in the Hat, Jack Roush.
All right, thanks, Doc. They're getting ready through turn 4. Let's tell you, our over-the-wall reporter today is going to be Sean Pete. He's the jack man for the 83 for Reed Sorensen. Stay safe down there, Sean. And the pit window, 41 to 44 laps. And remember, yesterday, not very many cautions, and their history here is fuel will play a factor as they come down towards the start-finish line. Race number 23 of the 2010 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. The Carfax 400 is green. Saw Biffle slide just a little bit. Coming out of 2, down the backstretch now. Things starting to sort out. Jimmy Johnson takes the lead. Here comes Clint Boyer underneath the 14 of Tony Stewart.
Anticipate some loose race cars early because this is the hottest track that these cars have seen all weekend.
You can see Jeff Gordon, who started back in the back. He was 3 and 4 wide already.
Leading lap number 1, it'll be Jimmy Johnson, followed by Kahne, Stewart, Boyer, Montoya. That's your top 5.
See Jeff Burton there down on the bottom side in that 31 car. He was fast at every practice session that they had here. Not at the top of the charts, but in the top 5 or 6 every single time. A lot of people looked at him as one of the guys to beat today.
Action back in the pack. There's the 12, Brad Keselowski, yesterday's winner in the Nationwide Series. His teammate Sam Hornish tried to tuck under the 1 of Jamie McMurray. Couldn't do it. Back up in this group, you've got Kurt Busch. Right alongside with 43 with A.J. Allmendinger. And look at the battle for second. Here comes Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart loves these hot, slick racetracks. This track will be just right for him today.
We've documented a number of times this with Biffle trying to get under Clint Boyer there. Just how many of Tony Stewart's wins have come during the summer months when these racetracks are at their hottest and slickest. That's whenever he likes to show off his driving skills.
Matt Kenseth and Jeff Burton both getting underneath the 98 of Paul Menard, but here comes Menard with the higher line.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of 2 drivers working together. Matt Kenseth gave Jeff Burton a big push, but didn't push him too far into the corner where it got him out of shape. Now, Matt's going to try to make that pass on Paul Menard on his own.
Biffle's still working on the inside of Clint Boyer. Looks like he's going to get it done here.
Our biggest mover of the race, the 24 of Jeff Gordon. He is up to 27th right now and running very good laps. 41-1 on the last go, even in traffic.
Yeah, if he can make that bottom side work right now, you're going to see him pick up a lot of spots because there's not going to be a lot of guys, their cars handled good enough down on that bottom part of the track.
Inside 7-time winner here at Michigan, Bill Elliott in the 21. And Gordon, he's got it glued to the bottom of the track right now.
Well, his car does look good down there.
He seemed pretty happy with his race car yesterday in the final practice session, so be fun watching him try to move his way into the top 10.
Mark Martin, we're being told, had a close call just a moment ago here on the track as he is side by side with Carl Edwards. Look at this, going to make it 4, maybe abreast.
Yeah, look at all the scrapes you can see on the side of the Mark Martin car there.
They sorted it all out. Mark tucks it back in behind Kurt Busch, and
usually don't see Mark Martin scraping his car up.
I think we're going to see a lot of guys struggle. They're going to hope for a relatively early caution that they're not a part of because they want to work on these cars.
All right, watch David Ruderman in the 5.
You can see Mark is just trying to slide up in front. Boy, that could create more damage than what it actually looks like there.
Yeah, he hit the wall pretty hard right there.
He cannot afford to have that kind of damage, though. If it gets worse, I mean, it will just hurt his chances immensely, as there he would be right now based on where things are early in this race. He's got his hands full right now with the 99 of Carl Edwards. Vince?
Well, Mark Martin, as you saw, did make contact with the wall, but he radioed in to Alan Gustafson, his crew chief, and said, I don't think I've done any major damage. He said, but the car is just tight at this point right now. A little something different under the hood for the Hendrick teams, including Mark Martin. They're running an new engine package this weekend. It's been run a few times throughout this course of the season, but this is the first time that all the Hendrick engine cars are running this engine package, and they're doing it this weekend, so we'll see if it gives them a little better performance here today.
Well, it's not helping Mark right now, whether it's the engine or the fact that he smacked the wall. He's dropping back and he's under attack again. There goes A.J. Allmendinger. Here comes Keselowski around.
Yeah, you can see what happens. Just a little bit of crack in the throttle. He's having a tough time on the exit of the corner. And whenever you do that, you can lose spots in a hurry, especially in a group like this.
Well, all that was going on right as Vince was finishing up. You saw Greg Biffle get around Casey Kahne. That was for 3rd. So it's Johnson, Stewart, Biffle, Kahne, and Bowyer. That's your top 5 as this has sort of settled down, at least for the moment. There's the margin between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And we've only run 7 of the 200 laps here at the Carfax 400. Well, we're working lap number 12 of 200 here at the Carfax 400, and Jimmy Johnson has the lead right now. He's led from the start of this race, taking the green flag and checking out right now. You can see the 4 tracks there that he has not yet won on, of course, this being one of them. His lead right now, just 0.8 of a second. He's led over 500 laps here, and he led the most in 3 of the last 5 races. But always an issue.
Yeah, we don't need to think there, give you an idea that he doesn't run well here. He just hasn't won. He hasn't gone to victory lane. He's led pretty much every one of the laps except the last one.
He's one of those drivers that probably hates these fuel mileage finishes. It's cost him quite a bit.
Well, Biffle right now closing down as he is in 2nd place.
You can see Biffle, he's just been chewing away at this lead of Jimmy Johnson's. If he keeps on this pace, you can see right there by you can see where the lap we're on is lap 18. Or actually on 16, you can see by 18 he should be right on the back bumper of Jimmy Johnson.
If he can keep closing at that same rate. Now, as you can see through the corner, knows how it adjusts.
It's just a live trend line you can see, just kind of explaining how these 2 cars are performing. You can see just now how he's closing on Jimmy Johnson. You can see that moving closer and closer, that merge line.
I think Jimmy got the picture too, because he's looking in the mirror. He goes, hey, this 3M's getting a little bit bigger in my mirror.
Yeah, Biffle's getting such a huge run off the corner. He's just letting the car roll through the center, not driving it in. Going to take the lead right. Might not lead this lap, but by the next one, Jimmy's just going to give him that spot right now. Probably fall in and actually see a little bit of what Biffle's doing, maybe. See if he can make his car work in that position.
Biffle riding the rim way up high through 1 and 2.
Yeah, Biffle's not the only one doing that. There's a few cars. I see the 29 car of Kevin Harvick's been working that top line pretty good.
Well, we mentioned the fact that Jack Roush has 11 Cup wins here, 20 in all 3 Touring Series. There's points leader Kevin Harvick. Right now he has moved from his 8th starting position up to the number 5 spot.
You can see Kasey Kahne and Harvick both really working that high line.
Yeah, and the one thing that I see is just a little bit different in what Biffle's doing. Biffle is entering the corner a little bit higher than what these guys are. So that allows him to make more of an arc of the corner, where the 9 and the 29 seem to be driving in a little bit lower, about a half a lane is all, but then they have to go up. So Biffle's getting a better shot off and around the corner, using the entire corner to his advantage, just a little bit faster.
Now, right behind the 29 is Clint Bowyer in the 33. And boy, right now, Bowyer is loving what he is seeing in his race car and on the scoreboard, Dave.
But Marty, he's wondering about those cars way up front that he can't quite see and what they're doing with their racing line. Listen to him and his spotter.
Just running higher all the way around, right? On this end he is for sure. And you're driving in a little harder than him. You need to back up your corner. He picks the gas up way earlier, both ends. Not so much in 3. You gain about 3 car lengths getting into the center, but you kill him getting in. He gets you twice that much off down here.
Spotter Mike Dillon came back just 2 laps ago and said, that's a much better line. He likes what he's seeing out of his driver and how he's changing it.
He's watching Harvick right in front of him, and Harvick is closing on Kasey Kahne.
Yeah, and you can see right there running that high line that there's not much room for error, but that's why Harvick's not driving it in quite as far. That's where you don't have quite as much control if you have to slip a little bit. But once you can pick the throttle back up, you can literally drive the car off the corner, so you're in much better control of it, staying away from the wall but getting all that speed out of it.
Give the position to Harvick, and he's looking at 2 guys right in front of him as Tony Stewart now goes around the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. So bump Johnson back to 3rd, Stewart up to 2nd.
Well, yeah, this line that Harvick's running, you know, we heard him say in Countdown about how he learned so much yesterday about where to be running on the racetrack and what really worked for him. It's like he went to work with it right away here.
Okay, guys, I'm going to throw it out early here. The 48 car, he's fast. We know he can go fast, but he's obviously going to have to adjust on his race car here. And this is where we've seen them over the last 6 or 7 weeks have a little bit of problem, Andy.
Well, I think Jimmy Johnson's going to have to adjust a little bit of his line. I mean, he's seeing what these cars are doing. They obviously need some adjustments on the car, but he needs to be paying attention to where the fast line is here and what he needs to be able to do it.
On board again with Harvick, Richard Childress Racing. You know, we talk about momentum. We mentioned it at the beginning of the broadcast. All 3 RCR cars in the top 7 right now.
Well, these RCR cars have just been so fast, really all year long. These cars have won a couple races with the 29 car. Jeff Burton has had cars to win at least a half a dozen races this year, and I'll be surprised if we don't see him in the mix of the win here today.
Burton's running back in 7th right now. Harvick's getting another challenge from the 48, but he clears him again. Biggest mover has been Jeff Gordon. He's picked up 22 spots since the start of this race. Remember, he started back in the 36th position, and he's already moving up into the top 15. Doc.
You know, Steve Letarte told me they unloaded in race trim and spent most of the time here in race trim. Thought they had a really good car. And then right before qualifying, switched it over and tried a few things in qualifying. Obviously, by the fact that he started 36, what they tried did not work. But he said Jeff felt the car was so good in happy hour, it wouldn't take him long to get there. Here are the predictions from the crew. The crew said by lap 10, he will be 20th. Guess what? Lap 10, he made a pass and was 20th. Their also prediction was by lap 20, he'd be in the top 10. Well, he hasn't quite gotten there yet, but he's on his way.
He certainly is. And remember this, the lowest starting position of a Cup winner here at Michigan, 32nd by Mark Martin back in June of 09. He led only the final lap. And remember, Gordon started 36. Now, Greg Biffle, our race leader, word was it looked like he was getting a little trash on the front grille, and we're going to take care of it.
Marty, this is the worst track on the circuit for getting that trash on the grill. I'm not sure why, but I've had more trouble with that here in the past of just getting, you know, hot dog wrappers and just rubber buildup that'll build up on that grill and really cause you a lot of problems.
Well, Kevin Harvick has now gotten around Tony Stewart for 2nd spot, and he's not waiting until the end of the race to sneak up to the front. He's doing it now. Let's go back and show you what we're talking about as far as this trash on Biffle's grill.
Well, see what happens right here. Now, Biffle is pulling right up behind this 7 car. He's getting ready to go a lap down, and he wants to put that nose right up against that back bumper, and it almost creates a vacuum on the nose of that 16 car, and it'll just pull that trash off of there. Very smart move right there, and perfectly executed by Greg Biffle.
So the lead right now, 0.7 of a second for Biffle over Harvick, then Stewart, Johnson, and Bowyer. That's your top 5 at the Carfax 400. Well, it's your car and your drive and your chance to win. Enter for a chance to meet a Team Chevy driver and win your favorite Chevrolet at winyourchevy.com. And back here at Michigan, Kevin Harvick's trying to win another race, pick up some bonus points. Talked about it in Countdown, and he's closing in on race leader Greg Biffle. It's down to what you see right there, which is half a second. And there is Jack Roush. Great to see Jack back in a very familiar spot.
And he just arrived moments ago, Marty, as he came and climbed up the ladder up on top of the pit box. You could notice that it gave a bit of an emotional boost to this entire team. Guys patting him on the back, giving him high fives, welcoming him aboard. But as we've heard all weekend long from the Roush folks who have spoken with him, he doesn't want the spotlight on him. He wants the spotlight on his race cars. All he really cares about is how they're performing. And this is a sign that it's just business as usual for Jack Roush.
Well, he looks very calm, cool, collected, just like always, and why not? His car's out in front. Coming up on lap traffic there as you've got Biffle on the left side of your screen on the high line, followed by Harvick. They go around the 26 of Patrick Carpentier to put him a lap down. And as we back a little bit further, let's check in on Kyle Busch, Ryan Newman. These guys got a good battle going on for 17th on the racetrack.
It's a good illustration of just exactly how those two lines work. These are two cars that are pretty evenly matched. You can see now where it looks like the 18 gets a big advantage on the entry and through the middle of the corner. And then right here you see Ryan Newman kind of using that momentum off the top side, and this should carry all the way down the back stretch. You see it does. He actually clears the 18 car.
Yeah, and what happens there is the car down on the low line has to wait a little bit longer, get his car turned, and then feed the throttle a little lighter, actually, than what you can up the very top. So makes it a little bit more difficult for that guy to make the pass.
Dave, you've got more on these two?
Yeah, the 18 of Kyle Busch right now. Tight late entry to center, decent up off. So Kyle feeling okay about his race car. Ryan Newman just playing tight in that 39 car. Crew Chief Tony Gibson talked about an air pressure and a track bar adjustment, but Newman, for right now, waving off on the track bar adjustment for that next pit stop. Jimmy Johnson on the right of your screen, falling backwards. The reason why he explained on the radio to his crew chief, Chad Knaus, it started with, "I'm loose," and then they began talking about it. Listen.
Front brakes got me off the wall a little better, but I just can't carry the entry speed to the center. Step forward, bud. We're going to work on you here. Try to keep there as best you can. So you typically get tight as you go up high. Maybe try that high line. Seems the higher up, the looser I get because I'm carrying more speed. Okay, so don't go up high.
Okay, Andy, it was the one time I thought I could be a crew chief. Okay, then, don't go up high.
Yeah, I was wondering why Jimmy Johnson was hedging his bets a little bit of getting in way up on that high lane. You see, he's not all the way against the wall like Biffle and Harvick are, so that might be wise. He's just too loose to risk it.
Well, bad news for Mark Martin fans. He has pulled into pit road here on lap 31. It's good news on the right side of the screen for Clint Boyer fans. Vince?
Well, they're going to take a look at that right front fender. He had the wall damage. You see, there's the caution has come out. So Mark Martin, they're going to go ahead and change those 4 tires. There's the pull on the right front fender. Going up 3 on the track bar as well. Car's just way too tight for Mark Martin here in the early going.
Well, after ecstasy for Roger Penske yesterday, the Blue Deuce today is on fire. Keselowski wins the nationwide race, and his best shot right now, Kurt Busch, is smoking. I don't even think he knows he's got some flames coming out underneath that race car.
Yeah, he knows he's done.
Motor, I thought.
Man, that thing blew up big time.
He was 15th at the time of this incident. Let's go back. Just listen to the onboard.
That's generally when things are going to happen, especially in a place like this where you have long straightaways. When you let out of the throttle, those parts and pieces break at that point in time. But this is, we probably haven't pointed out enough that how difficult this racetrack is on engine turn. A lot of RPMs for a long period of time on these long straightaways.
Yeah, we used to use our Spintrons, and we would program a Michigan race because it is the hardest track on the engine.
Well, let's check in with Tim Brewer at the Craftsman Tech Garage.
Like you said, Andy, that was big right there because, you know, you'd think a valve maybe broke, got down in the combustion chamber, but take a look down under here. The connecting rods, when you see that fire and that smoke come out, all the oil, when the rods come out the side of the oil pan, the oil gets on these headers, and that's what makes the fire. That was big.
That was big, Tim. You see that a lot of times it can be just a small part breaking, and it causes a chain reaction of things to start breaking in the engine, and they blow out the bottom like that.
Well, this is not what you want to hear if you're a Kurt Busch fan. This is his second DNF. The only other one was just 3 races ago at Pocono. So we are under our first caution here. And as you take a look at the flames, let me update some other cars that we didn't get a chance to tell you about. Joe Nemechek is out of this race. So is Michael McDowell. Behind the wall is P.J. Jones, also Max Pappas, Landon Castle. And we can tell you that Robbie Gordon was behind the wall, but he's come back out. He's 15 laps down.
Well, that caution flag did catch Mark Martin a lap down. We'll see these leaders pit here, and he should be able to take the wave around to try to get that lap back, so it should work out for Mark.
I'm sure they'd like to take this opportunity to work on their car some more is the only bad thing about that.
Well,
they'll have to stay out.
Yeah, they won't have that opportunity right now. They'll just have to stay out to try to get this lap back.
Well, Mark Martin is shown in 36th position right now. If it doesn't improve, Clint Boyer could be in 12th with a 90-point cushion. Well, back here at Michigan International Speedway under our first caution, after we've completed 34 laps of the 200 scheduled after Kurt Busch blew up. The pits will be open this time, and none too soon, because some of the guys were shutting off, including our leader, Greg Biffle, to save fuel.
Yeah, they're down to the last 4 or 5 gallons of fuel in that tank, and when you get that low, you run in the banking, that'll just pull that fuel away from the pickup, and the last thing they want to do is run out of fuel under caution. So to protect against that, you see some cars running down on the apron, and then you see Greg Biffle right here just weaving his car back and forth. That kind of just shoves that fuel over to these pickups who have little doors in there, and they'll fill up that pickup box and keep fuel to the engine. They just that's just a preventive move. I'm not sure that they're actually running out of fuel.
Well, let's send it down to Mike Massaro as they're heading your way, Mike.
Well, shutting the car off is not the only preventative move they're making, Andy. They're also going to pull a little bit of tape from the right side of the grill. You knew when the trash got on there earlier, the temperature spiked. They're trying to avoid that from happening again. The only thing Greg said about the handling of the race car, it's just a touch loose. They're going to make a 4-tire change and take on Sunoco Racing. Dave?
Jimmy Johnson glad to hit pit road. He thought he was running out of fuel. They'll fill it full of Sunoco fuel, make a chassis adjustment. He was too loose in. Vince?
Jeff Burton is in. He's getting 4 tires. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment as well. Tighten him up just a little bit. He's been loose under throttle and exit. Doc?
And Kevin Harvick said with the cloud cover, the car got very tight, so they went a major air pressure adjustment. Harvick 4 tires. He's away. And it is a cluster wall off of pit road.
Yeah, 4 wide at one point. Doc, the big winner, Matt Kenseth, he picks up 5 spots. Clint Boyer loses 2. But Greg Biffle is still your race leader. Almost at the end of our first caution here at the Carfax 400 after 36 of 200 laps. We'll let you know the 71 of Bobby Labonte got the lucky dog, so he's back on the lead lap. We had 3 waiver rounds, David Gilliland, Mark Martin, and Robbie Gordon. So Mark Martin back on the lead lap as well, but he is in 33rd position. You want to see how tight it can get on the race off pit road? Watch this.
You can see right here why fractions of a second make so much difference on these pit stops. See all these cars rolling off. Now look at this group. That's a bunch of cars right there.
And it gets even better.
Look at that.
Right there. Now let's watch from this angle. And keep an eye on the 9 and the 33.
See Clint Boyer, he's right in the middle of this hornet's nest coming out. Wow, that was close. Big loser in that whole exchange, though, was Jeff Burton. He was running 6th before they came in and came out 12th.
Well, it's time for the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award. And as you can see the lead, but you help determine the standings. Vote from your AT&T phone by texting the car number to 2258 for the pit crew you think is the fastest and most valuable. The 24 team leading right now. All right, let's reset it for you. It is Greg Biffle alongside with Tony Stewart, then Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Matt Kenseth. That's your top 5. 6 through 10 is Martin Truex, Clint Boyer, Paul Menard, Casey Kahne, Juan Pablo Montoya. And as we mentioned, Mark Martin right now taking a big hit. He's got to find a way to rally back. He is 33rd on this racetrack in that all-important quest for that 12th spot.
But he did get that lap back. He did stay out for the wave round. He started to tail end here. So he's got a lot of work to do.
Well, lights out on the pace car, so everything is organized and ready to go. Pace car does pull down this time onto pit road. The field comes down. Greg Biffle has chosen the high side. Starter has flag in hand, and we're back to green flag racing at Michigan.
I think somebody's going to get a penalty back in there where Marcus Ambrose and David Reagan and that crowd was, because they were 3 wide to start this thing, so I'm not sure who is at fault there.
Well, they're still 3 wide. Through one, that's Ambrose. He's got, let's see, Keselowski underneath him in the 12. Reagan was there at the 6 as well.
Well, Jeff Gordon's gained the most spots today, but Marcus Ambrose has gained the 2nd most spots. He's still on the move.
And there goes Gordon on the high side around Denny Hamlin. Also Ryan Newman in that mix as well. He's closing quickly on the 43 of A.J. Allmendinger. Yeah. 3 wide. There is Juan Pablo Montoya with Martin Truex and Clint Boyer. That is for 5th, 6th, 7th.
You know, these guys adjusted on these cars that last pit stop. Looks like Montoya's car's a lot better.
Yeah, they were very optimistic in talking with them about their chances here today.
You saw race leader Greg Biffle just streak on by. Man.
Like A.J. Allmendinger got sideways off of 2.
Well, Mark Martin's already tried to show you how it hurts the car when you hit that wall. Allmendinger doesn't appear to have any serious ramifications.
See Casey Kahne going right to the top. Most of the time here when you have new tires on, you'll try to run the bottom to the middle part, but you can see he really got a great run there, pushing Clint Boyer down the front straightaway.
And you notice Jeff Burton was in that mix as well. He restarted 12th. He's already back up to 8th. While all this is going on, Dave Burns caught up with Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch is with us now. Kurt, all weekend long, did you see even a hiccup in that motor before today?
Nothing like that. You know, it gave us great power, and the way that the car felt in general, we had a good, solid package. But overall, the Penske motor program has been great for us. Very backbone-ish, where they're never a problem. We always can have them to rely on, and reliability's never been a problem. So just kind of a bummer deal. There's a huge hole in the side of the block, catastrophic failure. So don't know if we're going to be able to learn what went first and what led to the big part blowout. But, you know, just a tough break for our Miller Lite Dodge. We're going to fall all the way to 8th or 9th in points, but just a cushion on 12th. You know, we were hoping to build on that today and be real comfortable. But, you know, it's never comfortable in racing. And so next week we go to Atlanta, or Bristol, then Atlanta, then Richmond. Those are 3 really good tracks for us. I know we can bounce back.
All right, Kurt, seeing the positive side on a tough day.
Well, the negative side is right now, it looks like he could drop as far as 9th or 10th in the points. And this would be the 4th result of 26th or worse in his last 8 races. That's not the kind of momentum you want heading for the chase. Let's get back to the battle at hand. Good one going here for 5th with Montoya and Martin Truex Jr. Martin hugging the bottom.
Yeah, Truex got his car a lot better this run, too.
A little further back, you see Casey Kahne. Here comes Jeff Burton, and along with teammate Clint Boyer.
Well, they've been fighting it out for this spot with Boyer and Kahne and Burton.
And Matt Kenseth trying to get it in there as well. Here goes Burton underneath the 9. And
nice
Kenseth,
3-wide battle.
Yeah, Kenseth wants to try and follow him.
See Kahne once again making the pass on the 33, but sideways in doing it.
Nose to tail action here at Michigan. Kahne's running 7th, Boyer 8th, Burton 9th.
This right here is exactly why the majority of drivers down there will tell you they love racing at this racetrack. If your car's not working at one place, or there's a car where you might be, you've got about 3 or 4 other choices lane-wise to go try to make the pass.
Kahne has now sort of opened up a little bit of ground, but there goes Burton again underneath the 33. Again, he's going to have to breathe the throttle, though. Meanwhile, the battle up front's getting a little bit better, because here comes Tony Stewart closing in on Greg Biffle. And a little further back, you've got 3 wide, as you've got Rudiman in that mix, as well as the 18 of Kyle Busch, Paul Menard. Busch going around the 98. Here comes the 39 of Ryan Newman.
Yeah, Carl Edwards found himself in the middle of that 3-wide deal coming off of 4 and had to get out of the gas a little bit and lost 3 spots.
Now the 39 sort of falls back behind Carl, and they sort of get back into single file. And as soon as I say that, Carl dives underneath the double O. Here goes another pass on the track. You've got the 9, a Kahne. Whoa, little wiggle there. Trying to get underneath the 42. Can't do it. Here comes Kevin Harvick on the left side of your screen, on the high side around Jimmy Johnson.
It's kind of like you said, Dale. It takes just a few laps for that high line to really be the decided advantage. And right now you're seeing Harvick able to really make up ground on Jimmy. Looks like he's going to pass him here.
Yeah, when the tires are really good, the air pressure down, they haven't gotten built up in too much heat, then you can run that bottom side. It's obviously the shorter way around. But once they get a few laps on them, people like Kevin Harvick can go to work up on top, Doc.
Indeed, that is the case, DJ. And Kevin Harvick, when he made his pit stop a moment ago, they took the tires off, talking about low air pressure. Take a look at what the left front tire looked like. There was a big chunk missing off of the shoulder on the left front tire. They called the Goodyear folks down. The Goodyear guy said, we think it's low air pressure. The team disagreed, said, no, not that low. We're a little bit concerned. And that's off the points leader's car.
Yeah, that kind of concerns me too, Doc. You see that little chunk out of there, you know, if that's from low air pressure, then you'd probably want to hedge that just a little bit, although that's going to cost you some performance if you have to pump it up.
See Harvick still making that high line work. He's gone into the second spot around Tony Stewart now.
While all this action continues, here comes the 48 again, taking a peek. Can't get it done. How about Kevin Harvick? He's going to be our focus in our Gillette Pro Guide profile, and you can see the number of wins compared from last year to this year in the performance. And right now, Kevin not waiting like he had been the last few races to sort of sneak his way to the front. He's been battling up there. He is the fastest car on the track right now. There's your top 4, Biffle, Harvick, Johnson, and Stewart. And a little bit further back, there's Martin Truex Jr. after 47 of 200 at Michigan.
One quarter distance through today's race in Michigan. Go to Goodyear.com and show your thanks to help support our troops. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. And a moment to remind you that coming up tonight, the finals of the Lucas Oil NHRA Nationals from Brainerd, Minnesota, ESPN2 at 10 Eastern Time. The late night wrap-up of this race on NASCAR Now, 1 a.m. Eastern, ESPN2. Next weekend, it's on to Bristol, Thunder Valley, the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Friday night, 7 Eastern, ESPN. And the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series next Saturday at 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Make note of that. Countdown starts at 7 Eastern, also on ABC. Just past one quarter distance of this race, Jimmy Johnson led the first 14 laps. Greg Biffle went by him, and you're looking at the race for the lead. Biffle and Kevin Harvick in the top 2 spots, Rusty and Brad.
Yeah, both of these guys are flat flying out there. Greg Biffle, we talked earlier in the countdown show, this team, this Roush team, is on fire right now. They've righted the ship. They're looking good. And last time by, the fastest lap on the racetrack, Greg Biffle and Kevin Harvick, both of them bumper to bumper.
Now, right behind them, running in third spot, is Jimmy Johnson. Remember, the early leader of the race, but maybe a little concern for that 48 right now, Brad.
Yeah, he's just off the pace just a little bit. The car's very loose. And you look at the front of that race car, it has picked up a ton of debris. Something's clogging up that radiator opening there. So he's got to get that debris off the front of that race car or it's going to run hot. And it does affect the handling as well.
Chad Knaus keeping an eye on things, and we'll have to have his driver keep an eye on those engine temperatures as well. Now, biggest chargers early in the race were Jeff Gordon and Denny Hamlin. Gordon started 36th. Hamlin started 33rd. They moved up and were racing together a few laps ago when this happened. Watch the 24 car.
Boy, look at the 24. He's very, very loose right now. See the rear end kick out. Denny Hamlin almost gets into him.
A.J. Allmendinger takes advantage and scoots on by.
So Jeff Gordon running back in 19th spot, kind of stalled out for now, and Denny Hamlin is running in 16th. Meanwhile, up front, it is Harvick stalking and tracking Greg Biffle to try and get the race lead. While we watch that, we also want to update you on Mark Martin, one of the bubble guys in the race to the chase. Remember, Mark was on pit road under green at lap 31 from 25th position. And then the caution came out. He took a wave around. He's trying to work his way back. Vince, what are they saying about this 5 car?
Boy, it's been an adventurous day for Mark Martin. He made wall contact early. The car was very tight. They came in on that pit stop and they went up 3 rounds on the track bar. They made an air pressure adjustment, and Mark reports that the car is even tighter than it was on that initial run. And for a team that was on the bubble coming in, and crew chief Alan Gustafson told me earlier today, they felt like they were on an upswing. They really thought they had something to work with today. It's been a nightmare so far for the 5 of Mark Martin.
And Mark right now 36 32nd on the racetrack. In fact, now 33rd, 28 seconds behind the race leader. And another guy he's going to have to watch out for is Ryan Newman, because Newman, he's putting pressure. Notice how the points start shaking out. Martin right now 72 behind, and Newman 98 behind, so only 16 separating those two. So still a lot of things that can develop, but that battle for that all-important last spot gets oh so dicey these last 4 races.
Well, it does, but you know, the biggest thing is that they all have to look at is Clint Boyer doing his job up in the 7th spot right now. Very solid. If they don't have any issues, then they're going to have a hard time catching him.
Let's go back to the race lead, and there you see Greg Biffle. He has now led 42 laps here. We've had 3 leaders, as Alan mentioned, 4 total lead changes. Harvick right behind him by 0.2 of a second. Then it's 4.4 seconds back to Jimmy Johnson. Martin Truex back and forth. Tony Stewart rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, and we saw right there, Kevin Harvick had literally run up to the back bumper of Greg Biffle. And I was talking to Jeff Gordon the other day, and he told me something very interesting about the aero of these cars. He said, you know, they've got these splitters down on the ground so much. When you get close to a car, not only is that car in front of you making a big hole in the air, but nothing's coming from underneath the race car. You're not getting any air there if you're that second car in line, so you're getting no air to the front end, and that's what makes it so difficult. You might run up and catch a guy in a hurry, but getting by him's another story.
Let's check back a little bit further. Remember when Jeff Burton came out in 12th position after a very slow pit stop? He has worked his way back up to 8th. Let's listen in on the radio.
I am not going to pass the same cars all day long. Y'all got to get it together and get your deal done, okay? We're all in this together, but we got to have each other doing our job.
Well, that's the frustration from Jeff Burton. His car's actually been running good, but as you heard, he's tired of seeing the same guys as he goes by. He ran well here in June, finished 8th, but this hasn't been one of Burton's better tracks. They hope to have a better day today. Now we've got a caution on the track. We're starting to get a little sprinkles down here, guys.
And I'm looking skyward, and you'd be hard-pressed to say any of these are rain clouds, so I can't believe that this is going to be a long, drawn-out caution, but it is our second caution of the day here on lap number 60 of 200.
It seems like the weather always comes from behind us here in the booth, though, as we can't see it. Looks like just a small shower just kind of passing through.
Well, let's see. Who does this caution help? One, obviously, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, but with that trash on the grill, it definitely helps Jimmy Johnson. But there's a lot of cars that need some help as far as getting adjusted.
Yeah,
the 31 team. Yeah, the 31 team's wanting a good pit stop here too.
Helps Mark Martin because, as we mentioned, he was 34 seconds behind the race lead when this caution came out. He's going to get to tighten up. Helps Tony Raines because he gets the lucky dog in the 34. Of course, if you weren't with us throughout the weekend, Kevin Conway and the Extend sponsorship gone off of that car right now, and Tony is in driving the 34.
Yeah, I'd say you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody except for those first 2 guys, Greg Biffle and Kevin Harvick, that didn't want to see a caution to be able to adjust on their race cars a little bit more because of the different track conditions that they're facing today versus yesterday's 2 practice sessions.
Points leader, Kevin Harvick. Go ahead.
There's a ton of pressure on Alan Gustafson to get that car. Mark Martin's right. I mean, they got a lot of work to do. The good thing is they've got a lot of the race to go. They are on the lead lap, but they have a lot of work to do.
Tell you one guy we haven't gotten to talk a lot about. He's snuck his way, well, not really snuck his way, but he's gotten up to 4th, and that's Martin Truex. He has top 15 finishes in 3 of the last 4 races, and he is right now running in 4th in that 56.
Yeah, they've been a really good team most of the year. They went through a stretch there, though, when they almost got close to that top 12 that was really hampered them not getting the finishes.
His best finish of 2010, 5th at Martinsville. Mike Massaro, they're heading your way.
They certainly are. Remember last pit stop how the 16 team was going to pull some tape from the grill as a precautionary measure? Well, they missed the tape. This time around, though, they asked Greg if they wanted to get it. He said, no, the car's been running so well, don't do anything to it. No changes on the 16, just 4 tires and fuel. Dave?
Third place, 48, loose into 3, wedge adjustment, 4 tires for Jimmy Johnson. Doc?
29 car, Kevin Harvick said, don't touch a thing. The air pressure changes you made last time are perfect. Car's good. 4 fresh Goodyears and fill it up with fuel. Vince.
The 5 car of Mark Martin, tight, tight, tight. They're going to make a track bar adjustment, air pressure adjustment, and also going to pull rubber out of the right rear, hoping to get Mark Martin a little bit better. It's been a bad day so far.
And you can see the race off pit road. Kyle Busch picks up 5 spots, and we just sang the praises of Martin Truex Jr. and his pit crew dropped him 5.
But I'll tell you, Kyle Busch's pit crew's on fire. They had the fastest pit stop the last round under caution, and they do it again here.
So Kyle, who has not had the kind of success in Sprint Cup Series action as he has over on the Nationwide side, gets a good stop here. We'll reset it when we come back. All right, back here after 62 of 200 laps at Michigan at the Carfax 400. We are under our second caution. And let's show you the race leaders as Greg Biffle is in front of Kevin Harvick. Then it's Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, and Tony Stewart. And Kyle Busch, the big winner in that last round of pit stops. And Andy, take us through.
Boy, Kyle Busch's team, like I said, they're doing a great job on pit road. 12.1 seconds compared to Stewart. Now, Stewart had a good stop. I mean, 13.4, you would think pretty respectable. But Kyle Busch was able to pass them on pit road with that good 12.1. You can see right here, they're coming in the pit stalls. Kyle Busch is already in. Tony Stewart making his way into his stall. So they're finishing up on Kyle Busch's car, and he pulls out. And that's why you keep a car in contention. This is a team, Kyle Busch's crew, they were so far off in practice, they actually switched cars.
And you can see right there, he gets across the line before Tony and before Jeff Burton. So Burton loses a spot in that mix as well. He's actually now shown in 8th position as they rotated and cycled through. So he came back out. Now Mark Martin's back on pit road with more problems. Vince?
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, guys, when he came in for that last pit stop, and they realized that he had some significant nose damage. So you see that they're repairing not only the nose of the car, but also recognizing that he has splitter damage as well there on the right front of the car. So it's been an eventful afternoon so far for the guy, Mark Martin, who came in 12th in points on the bubble as they head toward the chase.
And right now, as he goes back out, finds himself in 13th. And 75 points at this stage behind. Another car that also had trouble on pit road. Remember Jeff Gordon starting back in 36th, came all the way through the field, got himself up into around, what was it, about 18th? Yes. And now he finds himself back in the 20th position after losing stops. Here's what the team had to discuss on the radio.
What is the problem, boys? We can't keep doing that. We're going to have to get something better. We come in 18th and go out 23rd, man. We're racing with back markers. We're going to be able to beat them.
That was a 15.1 second stop they made. I've got the data here. I can see every one of the pit stops. And most of the cars, the competitive teams on pit road are 13, mid-13s and lower. So 15-second stop will lose you spots even that far back in the field.
And that was Steve Letarte that you're looking at right now on the radio, trying to fire his guys up and make them realize we can't afford to keep doing this. Pace cars on the backstretch, and Mark Martin is coming back into pit road again to do some more work. Martin in 34th position as the only other car on the lead lap is Patrick Carpentier behind him. Let's talk a little baseball coverage. Major League Baseball continues tomorrow night. Battle of NL East rivals from Citi Field. Raul Ibanez and the Phillies take on David Wright and the Mets on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. The game is also available on ESPN3.com. Mark Martin still on pit road with more work. We're back after this. Back just in time for the green flag. Greg Biffle on the high side, Harvick underneath him. Johnson and Kyle Busch right behind as they head for turn 1. If you're looking in that top 12 mix for the 99 where he came in, he got blocked during that round of pit stops, also stalled the car momentarily, dropped 12 spots, restarted 24th. So he's back in the middle of the field. Jimmy Johnson on the inside now, going into 3 underneath Kyle Busch. Tony Stewart wants to follow.
Yeah, Kyle Busch trying to make the most of what his pit crew did for him, getting him out. So he's trying to go for that second spot with Harvick.
Kyle Busch with only 2 top 10 finishes in his last 8 starts. And look at the 3 wide behind him. That's Montoya on the inside. In the middle is Burton, Truex on the high side.
Well, the draft really comes into play on this racetrack, but in particular with these cars, especially as you get down toward the end of the straightaway. You have 2 cars running side by side. Saw Montoya take advantage of that and go by them.
Harvick got a good run off the corner down the straightaway. He goes past and falls right behind Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch's car looks great. You know, I just mentioned a while ago that him and Denny Hamlin switched cars in practice. They were so bad. They didn't really know where to go, so they switched cars, the drivers did, and tried to work out some issues. It looks like it worked for the 18 team.
Dave, you've got more?
And Andy, that was one of the reasons why they went there. The other crew chief, Dave Rogers, told me was because they wanted to learn about their drivers' communication. Between Denny and Kyle, they do things very differently. Denny's more of a fractions guy. Kyle's more of a whole number guy. So when you have like a 1 tight, Kyle is like, he's 1 tight, and Denny's like, I'm 1/8 tight. So they got their communication down so that all the data they get, maybe even bump drafting, they can use for both cars. And that's one of the reasons why they did it. They said they've been wanting to do it for a long time. Saturday morning was their opportunity.
Bad news for Martin Truex. Don't know if he's got a problem, but a couple of cars went past him. He's fallen back to 14th position there. You see there's Rudeman and Ryan Newman right in front of him. Maybe he just got a little loose a little bit further. We were looking out the window. And there's Jeff Gordon trying to work his way back up. And on the right side, look at Tony Stewart.
Well, that was a 3-way pass right there because Kyle Busch was leading this group. And then Tony Stewart comes and takes these 2 spots away.
See Gordon on the left side of your screen trying to make his way forward after his pit stop wasn't quite up to par for those guys. Truex, I think, just his car just isn't liking this set of tires. Whether they made any adjustments or not, we'll have to check on. But you get yourself in a big group on these restarts, and if you're off just a little bit, it really magnifies that problem that you might have.
Whoa, look out for Joey Logano. It looked like he had contact with a 98 of Menard. They make the save, and here comes Carl Edwards trying to streak his way back after that faulty pit stop. Edwards gets around all 3 of those cars, including the 88 of Dale Jr. And look at Jr. trying to sneak between and gets past both Paul Menard and Joey Logano.
Yeah, Junior had some big hopes coming into this race this weekend here. He had a good finish back earlier in the year and was really looking forward, but didn't have the pit stop to show, or didn't have the qualifying effort to make it work. So he's having to battle his way back as we see Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick going at Harvick might have got in the wall just a little right there.
Looked like I saw a black mark on the wall that was left by that 29.
Well, and the interesting thing is, I mean, we're only at lap 72, and these guys are racing like there's only 10 to go. While all this is going on, let's go back again to this group because these guys are going 3 and 4 wide. What's going on with Martin Truex, Doc?
He said he had a bobble a moment ago, and he thought what DJ was talking about, maybe low air pressure, but the car now just continues to get looser and looser and looser, more so than anything he's had all day long. So he said, I got a tire going down. I got to get on pit road. I must have one going down. I'm not sure where, though, guys. They're going to come in and probably change all 4.
Well, he's back to 19th. He restarted in 9th, so he's dropped 10 spots.
I really see him not, and he's been not driving into the corner extremely hard, utilizing that high line, but he's really backing off early now. So he must be extremely loose, thinking it may have a rear tire going down.
Get a view of it here from Joey Logano's on board. Meanwhile, here comes the Harvick Stewart show one more time as Harvick gets back in front of Tony. They are now 0.8 of a second behind race leader Greg Biffle. Biffle has now led 55 of our 72 laps that we've completed.
Well, Biffle's just been so impressive because he's able to take off on the restarts and get himself out there, but his car doesn't fall off. See Stewart once again trying to take over that 2nd spot.
How about Jeff Gordon? He's in 11th spot after that restart.
He restarted 20th. He's picked up 9 of those spots, and the car is liking whatever change they made this time.
Either that or just mad. He's driving hard, though.
Well, Tony Stewart's giving himself some open air on the right side of your screen over Harvick. And there's the long shot down the straightaway. Gives you an idea of the separation between 1st and 2nd. Let's get more on Harvick, who's in 3rd. Doc?
Well, again, the same thing we saw from Truex a moment ago. Kevin Harvick said the car just jumped sideways. He yelled to the pits, guys, I think I might have a flat tire or a tire going down. Then he said, hold up, as they started putting helmets back on pit road and getting ready to bring him in. And now Kevin says, hang on, I might be okay, but be ready. So even our points leader not immune to situations here early on. Possible tire concern.
Well, as you finish up, Jimmy Johnson takes a dive to the low side of the track, trying to get underneath the 29.
Well, one thing we've got going on, we had total cloud cover over this racetrack for the last 10 minutes or so. It really did change the temperature, so it may have changed some cars the way they were handling.
You see, we do have the sun coming back out in 3 and 4 now, and all of these little areas that you see on the racetrack where there's tar been put in these cracks, for the harsh winters they go through up here. As the sun goes in and out, those are the places that really become the most difficult for a driver. So you have to start feeling your way around those, either above them or trying to straddle them through the corners.
There you saw Jeff Burton flash by. Burton shown right now in 10th.
Yeah,
Let's
Burton.
check in on Gordon because here he comes trying to punch his way into the top 10.
Burton's going the wrong way here. He's lost a couple spots, and Gordon is just really on the move.
Well, you just heard Burton have to breathe the throttle.
Yeah, he was trying to keep it wide open. You come off turn 2 and it flattens out so much right there. Sometimes you have to crack the throttle. You see Jeff Burton's probably just going to let Gordon go right now, see if he can work on his car and get it a little bit better. But Gordon is really moving through the field right now.
Well, and now you mentioned the sun. It is now out almost everywhere except through part of 1 and 2 where it's still shade. It'll be interesting to see how some of these cars now react.
Hey, you can see this right here. He's tracking Jeff Gordon. He is moving up through the field and passing a lot of good cars. But tracking against Greg Biffle, Greg's still getting away from Jeff a little bit here. Yeah, he needs that line to kind of go the other way and try to, you know, the dash line, this line right here, he wants that one to start going to the front and going up.
Well, his concern was getting to the top 10. He's done that now. Now he'll think about the top 5. Then he'll worry about Greg Biffle.
Well, there's the margin. It's 6 seconds between Greg and Jeff Gordon, who's in 10th. There's your top 5 at the Carfax 400 here in Michigan.
Carfax 400 in Michigan is brought to you by Verizon. The signal is yours. Wield it to transmit anything you want. Verizon. And Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
Closing in on halfway in today's Carfax 400. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. You rejoin us with a race for the lead. Tony Stewart has tracked down Greg Biffle. He tried him there, couldn't get it done. From the pit studio, Bestwick with Rusty and Brad. I'll tell you what, we talked about Tony. Can you consider him a realistic title threat until he wins? He's sure looking good today.
Well, take a look at your TV set. This cat's flat flying out there. I mean, he's qualified well. It's like you said earlier in the show, he's gained more points in the last 6 or 8 races than anybody. He is really challenging Greg Biffle right now. He's got a great handling car going on at this point.
Top 4 guys in the race, Biffle, Stewart, Harvick, and Johnson, have pretty much run in those top 4 spots most of the day. While we continue to watch this race for the lead, another theme on this day so far at Michigan, guys with fast cars that keep stubbing their toes. For example, Jeff Gordon started way back in 36th position. He's up into 8th, had a pit stop, lost some problems.
This could be the day. We've seen Jeff Gordon throughout the season start well, go backwards, and not be able to finish. But these guys stumbled early. Now they're starting to march their way up through the field after a tough pit stop earlier on where they were a little bit slow. Jeff Gordon might be putting himself in position for a great finish.
And as you see, Tony Stewart has taken the lead away from Greg Biffle. Somebody else who's shadowed Gordon all the way up through the field, in fact, was ahead of him for a little bit, Denny Hamlin.
Oh, yeah, Denny Hamlin continues to work on his car throughout the day. He's got himself all the way up in the 10th position right now. He didn't qualify well, start way in the pack, but he has drove this FedEx Toyota straight up to the front, and he's working on it, continuing to give good feedback to his pit crew about what he needs to make his car better and better, and right now it's paying off for him.
There's the scoring serial on Denny Hamlin from 33rd starting spot into the top 10. Another big story on the day, the bubble position in the race to the chase. Mark Martin started the day with as last man in, and he's had his share of troubles today. Got into the wall early in the race, and he's now made 5 pit stops for repairs.
And made 1 pit stop under green with the caution flag flew. It caught him on pit lane, put him down another lap. He's gotten that lap back, but he's only 1 spot away from going down a lap again. He is really having a tough day, while old Clint Boyer is up on the wheel, pulling on them reins, baby, running 7th, trying to take that spot back. Ryan Newman also, who's right around that bubble, is running really well. Mark's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, Mark's had several pit stops, just like you said, guys. He's 1 second off the pace right now. Car's running crazy slow, and Boyer, like you said, Brad's on the gas.
On the game.
All right, those are some of the headline stories in the race so far. Let's get you into some more specific stories as we go up to speed, starting with the race leader and Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Al. You know, Tony Stewart hasn't won a race since last October the 4th at Kansas. But, folks, stay tuned. Tony says this car is not good. It is real good. And the crew chief, Jerry and Grubb, said, yeah, it looks awfully good, Smoke. They've made an air pressure adjustment. They add some more side bite. And Tony Stewart is setting sail. Mike.
Well, Greg Biffle was saying his car was real good, too, until the sun really started shining down on this racetrack. As the sun heated it up, it got a lot slicker. His car has gotten looser. He's tried to compensate by trying various lines on the racetrack, has settled on the high groove, but at this point in time, he's not real happy with his race car. They've already planned a wedge adjustment next time down pit road. Doc?
Sort of similar situation with Kevin Harvick, Mike. The points leader had a good car early on. The sun was out. Then it went behind the clouds and then came back out again. And suddenly this time, Kevin Harvick said the car is so loose, I just can't drive it. It's all the way through the corner. And so either the clouds or Gil Martin, one of those two, has got to fix it here very soon. Dave.
Jimmy Johnson's car has been running very well this run. In fact, he talked to his crew chief just a couple laps ago about how it was doing. He said, as he battles with Kasey Kahne, he said that the entry is the best it's been all day. The car is very balanced. I'm not sure I know at this point what to tell you to do to make it better. We'll stay tuned during this run and see if they come up with something, Doc.
And you see Kasey Kahne up high going around the 48 car. Kasey Kahne was the pole sitter. He has not led a lap today. Why? Because on lap 1, the car got very, very loose. Kenny Francis and company have been working, making all kinds of chassis adjustments, including taking a packer out of the front to get the splitter down. In case it is getting better, but we're not quite there yet. Dave.
Doc, two things happened for Clint Boyer. They made a track bar adjustment on that last stop, and the sun came out. They thought that might help him a little bit. Sure enough, he picked up a position on Kyle Busch, who now runs 7th. Kyle, remember, restarted 4th after his team picked him up a spot on pit road. For the 18 car, he knows that the handling on his car is very well, but he suspects something else is slowing his progress. Listen.
This is a joke, dude. Your straightaway is a joke. Pathetic. I can't even side draft them to hold them off. They blow right by me.
Again, he emphasized how well it handles, but he wishes he had some more horsepower, Doc.
And guys, the big move of the day belongs to Jeff Gordon, the 4-time champion, started back in 36th position. True to his word, he was in the top 20 by lap 10. And he got all the way into the top 10. Then the car suddenly got very, very loose. And how about the move by Steve Letarte, the crew chief? He didn't take a small swing. He took a big swing at this car. 2 rounds of wedge on that pit stop, and it has really paid off for Jeff Gordon now. Vince.
Running 9th is Jeff Burton. He's been hanging around the top 10 all afternoon. Hasn't been up in the front, but his car's been pretty good. He's been fighting loose on throttle most of the afternoon. They just haven't been able to get that balance snugged up consistently. Right now he reports that he's sliding around a lot. Feels like it may be even hitting on the splitter. And remember, they lost 6 spots in the pits on their first stop. That hasn't helped them either. Going back to the 10th spot, and that's the 11 car of Denny Hamlin. Hamlin, of course, the winner here in June. They've done a lot of work on their intermediate program, and they believe that they've made some strides in that area. Hamlin says his car is better than it is showing right now. He did have some electrical issues earlier and lost all his gauges. He had to switch over to the second battery, but that corrected the problem. So if he says the car's better than it's showing, maybe keep an eye on the 11. He's the winner here from June. Marty?
All right, thanks, Vince. You know, when Hamlin won here in June, it was the 7th win for Joe Gibbs Racing in a 10-race stretch. They have only one top 5 finish in the 7 races since. That gives you an idea how fast the pendulum can swing. You saw Kevin Harvick make the move on Biffle, so put Harvick up to 2nd, Biffle back to 3rd. And we've had a total of 5 different leaders now, 8 lead changes. And we can tell you also there are 5 cars out of this race. Landon Castle has just pulled it back off the track. And P.J. Jones has also now just been declared officially out of this race. Don't forget to go to Goodyear.com to show your thanks and help support our troops. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. And thank you guys for the great aerials as you look down on race leader Tony Stewart. Only the 3rd race of 2010 that Stewart has led more than 10 laps. Sprint brings you an inside look at the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup on the Now Network. And of course, Kevin Harvick came into the race as our points leader. Jeff Gordon was 214 behind. And there is Tony Stewart, who's currently up front and leading this race in 3rd. Top speed, 205 for Kasey Kahne.
That's moving.
For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. Kasey Kahne, our pole sitter, right now running in 4th. And we're getting ready for pit stops because all of a sudden, Mike, Juan Pablo's in.
Yeah, and he's had some trouble with the race car, awfully loose. They're going to make a 4-tire change, also a chassis adjustment there. Last time they pulled the tires off, they found some weird buildup in the right rear, an additional 5 pounds of pressure. They're hoping they don't find the same thing with this set. He's away.
And as he pulls back out, we can tell you that Mark Martin has just been put a lap down by the race leader. He is in 32nd position. There you see him right there. And there is Tony Stewart and now Kevin Harvick going by what has turned into a nightmarish day for the driver of the 5 car.
See that sun on the racetrack, and it's really helping these Childress cars. The 29 car there, Kevin Harvick, he's chasing down Tony Stewart, and Jeff Burton's been making some headway too. Mike?
And David Ritterman has been chasing a very loose race car. This is not what they expected today. After all, they came with a very similar setup to Chicago and expected similar results. They made a wedge adjustment, took on 4 tires and fuel, hoping to fix that car up. They need it to be tighter.
So he gets back out onto the racetrack, and you see Tony Raines being put another lap down by our race leader, Tony Stewart. 21 of Stewart's 37 Cup wins have been in the summer months, 7 in the month of August. There's something about this time of year. We keep talking about it, and he keeps proving us right every time.
He loves those slick racetracks. He's really good at getting a hold of them.
Here comes Dale Jr. and Paul Menard. Let's first send it to Vince Welch.
Well, it's been an eventful day for Dale Jr., that's for sure. They've been chasing it throughout the course of the afternoon. Loose, loose, and loose. They've made wedge adjustments on both stops previously. They just haven't been able to get a handle on it, although they said it was much better in practice than what they qualified. They got a late qualifying draw. Jr. got big loose in his qualifying attempt. That's why he started all the way at the back. But they've had to fight traffic all day getting up through the field. Dave?
The 18 and the 48 on pit road at the same time. There is Kyle Busch on the left of your screen. He said, I'm afraid if you work on the center, or I'm afraid you're going to hurt my center if you work on the car. So just a slight air pressure adjustment. For Jimmy Johnson, we reported earlier, the car very balanced. He'll just take on 4 tires, no changes to the blue Lowe's car. A little slow on the left side. They finish. He's gone.
Yeah, 16.5 seconds. Not a good stop for Jimmy Johnson, especially under green flag conditions. Mike?
And Greg Biffle on pit road as well. They're going to try to tighten that race car up. We mentioned he was a little bit loose. They'll make a track bar adjustment. Also a 4-tire change anticipated along with 2 cans of Sunoco race fuel. And there you see the turn on the track bar. They also take off a little bit of debris from the grill. Trying to clean that up, Vince.
Here's Denny Hamlin. He cracked the top 10 just a short while ago after having to start toward the back. He started 33rd, came into this race 6th in points. So feeling pretty good about themselves with those 5 wins and those bonus points that go to the chase. They're making a wedge adjustment on the 11 and a 4-tire change. Doc?
Air pressure on Kevin Harvick. Pardon me, on Carl Edwards. Carl, remember, he was going out in 24th position and driven it all the way back up into the top 12. He's down and away. And here comes Tony Stewart down pit road, the race leader. And Tony says, guys, it can stand to be just a little bit tighter. They made an air pressure change last time. They had some side bites. They're going to make another air pressure change and also a chassis adjustment for Tony Stewart. He said the car just a little bit loose off the corner. I can't quite get in the throttle. Meanwhile, up above Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. A little air in the left rear and a little wedge. Jeff said the car started to get loose. Remember, they had fixed it before, but it was getting loose on this run. He is down and away making his stop.
And still more action. Here comes race leader Kevin Harvick and Kasey Kahne. They're also on pit road, as is Jeff Burton and Clint Boyer. Let's go to Dave.
Boyer tried to stay out to lead a lap, but when Kahne and Harvick stayed out, they had to abort that plan. Just a slight air pressure adjustment for a loose race car for Clint Boyer. Again, trying to solidify himself in chase contention, having a solid run this afternoon. Doc?
Kevin Harvick, remember we told you how loose his car was throughout the turns, but it was getting better in the longer run. Slight air pressure change for Harvick. Kasey Kahne also in now, our pole sitter. Remember, Kasey been battling a loose condition all race. He is getting better. And again, an air pressure change, 4 tires and fuel for Kasey to try to get the car a little better than it was on this run.
Great work work down on pit road, guys. That was a lot of action going on. We can tell you Bill Elliott is just finishing up his work on pit road, as you see, and the battle to get back out in front. It looks like the 14's crew did the job over Greg Biffle's.
Well, they did, but Biffle, you can see, has gained a lot of that time back just by coming in a lap or two earlier than Tony Stewart. Got those fresh tires back out there and was able to make up a little ground.
So there's your top 5, and we're past halfway here at the Carfax 400. Well, back here at Michigan for the Carfax 400, where race leader Tony Stewart leads by 0.9 of a second. Let's talk about the AT&T Fastest Pit Crew of the Year award. The fastest pit crew is determined by the winner of each race. The fastest pit time and your vote. Be sure to text the car number to 2258 for your pit crew choice. And I'm telling you, you'd have to probably give Kyle Busch's crew the nod. You were noticing his pit stop times have been just phenomenal.
Yeah, that crew's made 3 pit stops, 12.1, 12.1, and 12.2. So
what happened on that last one?
Hey, no, actually, that was a 12.1. The 12.2 was the first stop.
Oh, look at this. This is your battle for the top spot. You've got Stewart, Harvick, and Biffle, and then a little bit further back is Clint Bowyer running in 4th. And there is Kyle Busch. Now, his pit crew has really kept him in this race. He came in 9th. And he's now 7th. And remember that he and Jimmy Johnson pitted together, and you're saying, well, where's Jimmy? He is much further back in 11th position, and this is what can happen on a bad pit stop.
Had a hiccup on the right front of the 48. See right there on the right side, a couple seconds and more difference. But boy, Kyle Busch's team doing a great job. That 16.5 will kill you every time, though.
Let's show you the sequence to give you an idea. Here they come on pit road. Take it away, Andy.
Boy, Kyle Busch doing his job, too. Getting down to pit road speed, staying as close as he can to Jimmy. They're pitting close together. Jimmy's pitting in front, so they don't have to cross over. See right here, the right front tire coming off, and the tire changer having a problem getting the lug nuts on. Man, that's just a killer. At this point, you're just playing catch-up. You'll see 18 car. Kyle Busch just pulls away and drives off from Jimmy Johnson.
And it's now a 7-second difference between those two. Let's go back to the race lead because it's getting good. Here comes Harvick around Tony Stewart. That'll be our 11th lead change here at Michigan today.
Yeah, y'all talk about great pit crews. I like the crew of Kevin Harvick and all of these Richard Childress teams, but the job they've done, but in particular Kevin Harvick and these guys. He told us in the pre-race show that he liked the way this team had been racing most recently, where they were really competitive and then getting themselves in position to win races. That looks like what he's here to do today.
Going by Reed Sorensen, let's go back because it looks like Greg Biffle is slipping a little bit off this pace. What's going on, Mike?
Yeah, Marty, prior to that round of pit stops, the report was the car was loose, and the initial plan for the 16 team was to make a wedge adjustment. Well, that changed when the car came down pit road. Crew chief Greg Irwin made it audible, elected to go with a track bar adjustment instead, and, well, it hasn't worked out so well. Let's listen in.
Just for the notes, too loose. A little bit of wedge next time, please. I can barely drive it, I'm so loose.
As you heard Greg say, very loose, lacking rear grip. That could be a problem if they don't get it fixed next time down pit road.
I'm just amazed at how little Greg Biffle's turning this steering wheel to make it go around the corner. That just shows you how loose he is.
Yeah, generally you run that top side so that you don't have to turn the wheel as much and abuse the tires, and you can make good time. But he's turning the steering wheel not even a quarter of a turn there. It's pretty amazing. That car is extremely loose, and he's very talented to be able to do that.
Well, right now he is 2.8 seconds behind the race leader. Let's move back a little bit further. Whoa, Kenseth gets a little sideways there as he has got the 48 of Jimmy Johnson creeping up on him. That is a battle for 11th. And right in front of these two is Carl Edwards. Remember when he was 24th after that bad pit stop where he got blocked? He has fought back into the top 10. Right side of your screen, you see Kasey Kahne in the 9 as he gets past Bowyer. Move Kahne to 4th.
Yeah, I'll go back to that left side. I'm still seeing things, as you see Jeff Gordon there make a big run and get by Boyer also, but still not so like what I see with Jimmy Johnson and this whole race team. They're making mistakes that we haven't seen over the last 4 years by this race team, and again, adjustments, they continue to fall back throughout the race.
I'm impressed with that 24 car, though. They have got, I tell you what they've got a car that's really fast on new tires. They're able to run the bottom of the racetrack. If this race comes down to a short run and that 24 is close to the front, look out.
Last 3 laps, Gordon's the only driver under the 41-second barrier. He is flying right now. Remember, he started 36th today. And here he is knocking on the door for Kasey Kahne's 4th position, and he goes down low. But the thing, he can almost drive it anywhere, it seems.
Well, there's nobody else running down there. That's the good thing. And Andy and I were talking, and Andy's pointed out a number of times that you see these guys running that high line, and yeah, they're making good time. But we've seen the majority of races won here at Michigan by running the bottom to the middle of the racetrack. That's what Jeff Gordon's doing right now.
He's like the only car I've seen that's able to make passes, I mean quality passes on good cars using the bottom lane of the racetrack or the middle. You see him here. He's definitely lower than the other cars.
Well, while Jeff starts to pull away from Kasey Kahne, how about if we check in again on the race lead? Because remember, Tony Stewart led about 25 laps, and then he surrendered to Kevin Harvick. Well, Harvick has now opened up a 1.5-second lead. Now he's got some lap traffic in front of him. But as we drop back to the 14, there is Tony also going around some slower traffic. You can see the laps comparison. Let's listen in on the radio.
But where he's beating me right now, I beat him to the center of the corner, but he gets back to the gas full throttle quicker than I can. Okay, good for him.
Yeah, and it's really visible here too. I hope that you can see it on the racetrack. When they're closer together, you can really see it. But Kevin Harvick's just able to really nail the gas. He doesn't roll in, and Tony says he's rolling faster in the center. But you carry that straightaway speed, that really makes a big difference, and that's what Harvick's doing.
Well, there you get a chance to see the gap on Kevin Harvick to Tony Stewart. For Harvick, his last 3 Cup victories were on restrictor plate tracks. His last non-restrictor plate win was back in Phoenix in November of 2006. So right now, as he's got a 2.4-second lead over Stewart, Greg Biffle another 2 seconds back. But watch out for Jeff Gordon, still running the fastest laps of all. Harvick, though, in control as of right now.
Don't forget tonight on ESPN2, the Lucas Oil NHRA Nationals Finals from Brainerd, Minnesota. That's at 10 Eastern time. And the NASCAR Now late night wrap-up of this race is at 1 a.m. Eastern, that on ESPN2. Next weekend, our action is from Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's fastest half mile. Friday night, the Nationwide Series, ESPN, 7 Eastern. Saturday night, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race on ABC. Make note of that. 7:30 Eastern time, coverage starting with NASCAR Countdown at 7 Eastern. Right on board with Joey Logano, the Home Depot machine, slogging along in 15th place here. Logano took the green flag for this one in 27th, so positive movement there on the scoring serial for Joey Logano today. Kevin Harvick is out in front. Kevin began this day as the championship leader with an opportunity to clinch his place in the chase if he finishes the day with a 586-point lead over 13th at the end of the race. Well, right now, with Mark Martin falling into 13th place and struggling on the day, Martin running in 30th spot, Harvick in position to clinch a place in the chase. As things stand, and by the way, a win, get him 10 more bonus points and put him that much closer to Johnson and Hamlin in the reseed after Richmond. Speaking of the bubble standings, Clint Boyer.
He is
solid run.
Oh, yeah, he's doing what he's got to do. He's been working on this car throughout the day. He's got it handling really good right now. He's up in the 6th position, and his lap times are good. You're within 2/10 of the leader. Looking good.
Wow, boy, Greg Biffle goes flying by Tony Stewart there. I tell you, these two guys are going at it. They're trying to run down Kevin Harvick, and both of these cats have super fast race cars. This is going to be a great finish for this race because Jeff Gordon is fast as well.
And just to wrap up the chase bubble story, Mark Martin again started the day 12th in points. He's now 13th in points. He's running in 30th place in this race. Struggled all day, took some damage to his car early, has made a number of pit stops to repair it. And you see Mark Martin falling 67 points off the bubble at the moment as they run. On the racetrack, Jeff Gordon. Speaking of bonus points for winning races in the Chase reseed, Gordon 0 for the year so far, and he has been flying.
Oh, he has been flying. He has been the superstar of the day. There's no doubt about that. He's come from the back of the pack all the way up to the 4th position right now. Last time by, fastest car on the racetrack, a 41.08, so he is flat getting the job done out there. He's got to be loving the way his car's handling. And what I like about it, Alan, he's passing everybody in the bottom of the racetrack, and everybody else is up top.
Biffle, Stewart, both reporting loose race cars. Gordon going by Stewart there, picking up 3rd position. So with another round of green flag pit stops approaching and loose race cars, Tim Brewer in our Craftsman Tech Garage going to give us something to watch for on this next set of pit stops. Tim?
Thanks, AB. What the guys are going to be doing is actually running the weight bolt down on the left rear. By running this bolt down, makes it really effective because these corners are such high speed on entry. But by putting wedge in the left rear, you make the left rear wheel heavier as well as the right front. And that's really effective getting into the corners here at Michigan.
So wedge or cross weight, look for those wrenches to be flying on these pit stops, and we're going to see another round of green flag pit stops not all that far away. So let's take a break. We'll come back, get you set for the action on pit road. 74 laps to go. Kevin Harvick, the championship leaders, out in front by 6.5 seconds.
Make sure to go to Goodyear.com to check out Goodyear's Support Our Troops program. There you can send a thank you message from a NASCAR driver, enter for a chance to win a 2011 Ford Taurus, and other great prizes. Back here at Michigan, as we take a look at the race lead, it is Kevin Harvick in a Chevrolet up front with Biffle in 2nd place in a Ford. Then another Chevrolet for Jeff Gordon, followed by the Chevy of Tony Stewart and the Ford of Casey Kahne. There are 2 Toyotas also in the top 10. A total of 5 Chevys, 3 Fords, 2 Toyotas in that mix. And already some pit stops starting to happen, and he is first in the cycle again. Mike Massaro, it's Juan Pablo.
Yeah, and he's been fighting an extremely loose race car all afternoon long. So much, in fact, there's been 5 pounds of additional pressure built up in the right rear. On the last 2 sets they pulled, they're expecting the same thing this time around. They made a wedge adjustment, a 4-tire change in Sunoco race fuel for Montoya.
And as he comes back out, there is Kevin Harvick, who has a 6.2 second lead. All right, you know, some of the things that we come up with technologically wise are interesting, and this may be one of those instances because this racetrack has a tendency to become a fuel mileage endeavor. Watch Jeff Gordon's line. He's taking the lower line, obviously, which means the shorter way around the track. Well, we've now been able to figure out how much farther some of these guys are going than others, and this is an interesting comparison.
Yeah, total miles. You can see right there, Jeff Gordon running that low line has been able to run about 3 miles shorter than Kevin Harvick. You know, it's not a big deal, but it is something.
A big deal, you say about 4 miles to a gallon of fuel, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the race, if he has 4 less miles, does he necessarily have that extra gallon of
he
fuel?
won't be able to stack that all up for the whole for the end of the race because they kind of reset after pit stop.
Let's listen in on the team communications.
Started off much better this time. Market takeoff was tighter. It's going to get tighter. I mean, it started to right now. Just get too tight. 10-4.
Well, right now he is 7.9 seconds behind race leader Kevin Harvick, and Harvick now is running faster laps than Jeff. Before the last break, it was Jeff that was really flying.
Yeah, now caution you on your fuel mileage deal, driving that lower line, he's having to drive it further into the corner, get back to the gas harder. May not work exactly right.
All right, stay with us. .63 laps remaining at the Carfax 400 here at Michigan International. You're looking at race leader Kevin Harvick. While we were away, some of those cars that are in the middle of the field to the rear of the field have done pit stops. Paul Menard, also the 47, has come in. Marcus Ambrose, but not the race leader right now. A.J. Allmendinger has now turned down pit road, and right behind him is Elliott Sadler. Vince, let's send it your way.
A.J. Allmendinger in the pits. Allmendinger just says the car hasn't had any rear grip. It will not turn. They've been calling for that to be fixed throughout the course of the afternoon, but they've been working on the chassis. They just haven't been able to come with something that's going to give him the rear grip that he needs to drive it. Track bar adjustment, 4 tires and fuel for the 43.
And a good stop for Elliott Sadler. As you can see, he got out in front of A.J. Allmendinger. Other cars that have made the stops, let's say the 48, Dave.
He is on pit road now, slowly coming to me with his comment during that run. However, still feels like he needs to get a little speed. They're going to make a wedge adjustment and see if they can get that car to be a little bit faster for him. He played with the brake fans, adjusting within the cockpit, but it just wasn't fast. He lost a lot of positions. He's losing more now. They again have a slow pit stop, Doc.
And Martin Truex having the same issue, Dave. Loose in the center and loose off the corner. Air pressure adjustment, wedge, 4 tires, trying to get him tightened up.
Greg Biffle has just completed his stop as well, guys, and so has Jamie McMurray. And there is Jeff Gordon in. Doc?
Jeff Gordon, as you heard already a little bit ago, so the car had been running really, really well. So the car starts to get tighter at the end of the run. So it's good early on, but tighter at the end of the run. And again, Tony Stewart in the 99 car here, and Carl Edwards in. Carl said the car is still a tick loose. Major air pressure adjustment to try to get that car to respond to being loose under throttle coming off the corner.
And Kevin Harvick continues out there. Let's go back pit road, Dave.
As soon as Clint Boyer started that last run, he cried loose off, and then it was loose the whole run. They're going to go back to what they call the original air pressures and make a track bar adjustment for Clint. The 18 of Kyle Busch on pit road as well. During that run, he complained about loose off as well. They're going to go back to the right rear air pressure they had before, as well as a wedge adjustment. Vince.
The 31 of Jeff Burton, they just snugged it up a little bit with air pressure, as Burton says he's needed a little bit more to drive off. There's the 29 of Kevin Harvick. It's heading off pit lane as well. And everybody making these green flag stops.
Kevin Harvick coming in and said no changes whatsoever on the car, although Kevin has complained that when they change 4 tires, the splitter on the front of the car hits the track for 3 or 4 laps, and then suddenly he can take off. And early on he said, I can't go anywhere because the splitter is bouncing on the racetrack.
13.9 seconds for the pit stop. Now here comes the battle for the race lead coming around the track. Keep your eye on Greg Biffle as he comes through that pack of cars. That's Jamie McMurray right in front of him. And can Harvick get back up to speed before he gets passed by the 16?
Yeah, I think he's going to keep that lead. Kevin Harvick crew did a fantastic job too, so he's going to be able to stay out front.
And there is Harvick, as you can see, already into turn 3. I think what hurt Biffle also was he got in that pack of cars.
And Kevin Harvick was the last car on the lead lap to make that green flag stop.
Might see Biffle close in a little bit right here, as we heard Harvick talking about it. Jerry Punch talking about that Harvick has a little bit of trouble on those first 3 or 4 laps till the air pressure gets built up. So this would be Biffle's chance to cut into that lead a little bit. See, he's gone to the bottom of the racetrack right now. Haven't seen him down there much today.
That one car, Jamie McMurray, is a lap down in 24th position. Right now it is Harvick, Biffle, Jeff Gordon. This is a battle for 15th between Ryan Newman and Joey Logano. Newman on the high side, Logano trying to hold him off. Another battle has the 33 and the 9, Boyer and Kahne. That is for 6th on the racetrack on the right side of your screen.
Oh,
whoa, he got so close to the wall there.
We can see just how much he pulled the back end of that 9 car around.
From on board with Jeff Burton. While all this is going on, we're hearing word that there may be a problem with the 12 car of Brad Keselowski. See if we can zero in. Someone is reporting that he may have problems with the front splitter. Mike, what's the latest?
Well, they believe it's a brace on the splitter that broke right in the center of the nose, and it's obviously affecting the handling on that race car. Keselowski radioing in saying it just will not turn, guys.
Yeah, it's more than just a brace.
Well, that's what caused all these problems, Marty. That center brace is gone, and it lets that air pressure just push that splitter down and completely wear it out. I mean, it's completely gone in the center, and once that happens, he's just toast.
Brad led 89 of 125 laps in his win yesterday, and today has turned into another nightmare for him as he is in trouble here, 35th and going backwards fast. On the right side of the screen, That's Jeff Burton, as he has gotten around Casey Kahne, so put Burton into 7th. His next target would be teammate Clint Boyer.
Boy, the back end of that car is moving.
And not to hit the wall would be his next accomplishment. He did a great job.
Yeah, and the break of momentum has allowed Casey Kahne to pull right back up on him and retake the position. You know, you talked about it earlier, the momentum that you have to sustain. And here comes Burton right back.
Yeah, I've talked to Jeff Burton a number of times, and he said, you really just have to drive these cars so much on the edge, and sometimes you get a set of tires that's a little bit loose or something. He said, but if you try to tighten it up to make it feel better, they just don't run, and so you have to force yourself to do that.
Jeff's got the inside line again going into 3. Kahne carries the momentum on the high side. Coming out of the corner, who's going to have the spot? Whoa! I think it's going to be Casey Kahne. And he puts a little bit of distance, has about 6 or 7 car lengths. So Kevin Harvick, by 3.3 seconds, is your race leader over Biffle, with Jeff Gordon from 36th up to 3rd here at the Carfax 400. Under our 3rd caution, with Ryan Newman having some contact with Joey Logano, and he has a flat tire, and the 16 at the far end of pit road has already made his stop. There's Kevin Harvick, 2 tires on the right. Same with Jeff Gordon. There is Biffle. And Andy?
Well, I mean, that's a good move right here. Hadn't had very many laps on those lefts. If you're going to do it, here's the time. Looks like everybody did.
Well, Jeff Burton took 0, just topped off for fuel. Now, remember, we have 51 laps to go, so nobody can make it all the way unless we have, what, about 10 laps of caution?
Yeah, maybe even more. Don't anticipate that.
That's not the history here. We're double checking on Burton's tire situation. We may have had, he did take 2. We're now being confirmed, so our screen had a malfunction there, so at least that updates that. But also, let's also tell you about Ryan Newman. Remember, he was running 15th at the time. Watch what happens with he and Joey Logano.
Yeah, we'd been talking about their battle even before we went to caution. See Logano get a little bit loose on the inside right here. He's going to get even more loose. As that car goes around to the outside, it kind of sucks the back end around. He gets into Ryan Newman and sends him spinning.
Yeah, Ryan Newman didn't hit anything, but he had a lot of damage just from those tires sliding so far. They went flat. He had at least a couple of flat tires. See, not much damage from the contact. But by the time Newman got to pit road, he had torn up quite a bit of stuff, and hopefully he'll be okay once they get the tires on it.
Let's go back on board and just listen in on Joey Logano.
Balance was pretty good. I just couldn't get by him. That was, if I had clean air, I think I would have been fine. Didn't really do much anything. I don't know which way to go with it.
You were definitely faster than me. All right, there. Just shake it off. Don't worry about it.
Well, this caution ended an 82-lap green stretch. The 6 of David Reagan will get the lucky dog and get back onto the lead lap. And we're waiting to see how many may have taken the wave around, and we'll get the number of cars. It looks like we may have as many as 10 getting the wave around, which could put as many as 28 back on the lead lap. We'll double check that figure. And while we do that, we'll step aside for a quick break as we're under our 3rd caution here with now 50 laps remaining at Michigan. Kyle Busch is going to restart 4th this time around. Look at this. He has been 1st. His crew has been just fantastic.
Nobody has beat them on pit road today, and they've kept this car in contention. Without these kind of stops, he would just be a mid-pack car.
9 waiver rounds. I'll give them to you as soon as we can. We're back to green flag racing with Harvick and Biffle side by side, Gordon and Busch in row 2, and here we go, 3 wide.
Yeah, Greg Biffle beat Kevin Harvick to the line there. We'll have to see what happens there.
Kyle trying to stick his nose right in the middle between, and
it's 3 wide for the lead off 2.
Hang on, going down the backstretch. Burton got a little tap from behind. He manages to gather it back up. 4 wide further back in the middle.
Hey, look at Harvick stretch it out on the backstretch.
Yeah, and that may be okay. They might let Biffle by okay since he gave the spot back there. Here's Jeff Gordon in the middle.
Yeah, Boyer's got some problems there. It's called the 24 and the 9. Here comes the 99 of Carl Edwards. Boyer gets the momentum spooled back up, pulls ahead of Gordon. Burton right behind Jeff.
this is a time right now that these drivers on these restarts, they don't really know what their car's going to do. See Montoya all the way down the apron trying to make a pass.
Still got 4 abreast at some of this. Here goes Montoya down low. There's the 17 of Kenseth. In the middle is Denny Hamlin, and he's getting passed like he's standing still.
See Martin Truex, who had some problems earlier on with handling his car, trying to get back.
Crashed.
Jeff Gordon up towards the wall.
Right front,
He's got a tire down.
You heard him say right front. He's got damage.
Into something there.
And we have another caution.
Caution's out for us.
So what was a great run for Jeff Gordon, he was 7th at the time.
He missed pit road. He
doesn't make it to pit road. He'd have done better if he'd have just stopped and let everybody go by.
Is it the right or the left? Can you see Dickerson? Rights are fine.
It's like the right side tires are up, but he's got damage on the right front fender. I don't know what happened, but he was struggling to get going on that restart, and people were just piling in on him. Then he just about crashed getting into turn 3.
Well, there's the right side, and everything looks fine right now.
See a tire rub. You see the right rear corner of the car's got some damage. Looks like that left front tire might be down.
Well, it's in the shadow
Yeah,
right
I believe
now.
it is the left front tire down.
Yep, there you can get a better look at it.
See, the problem was he was right in the middle of this group. I mean, he's racing a lot of fast cars, and he gets in the corner right there when he has the tire go down.
Yeah. You know, that's a chance that you take sometimes, especially after a caution and things, that leaving those left side tires on with a lot of heat there. You can see, now this is where the contact and the damage came in the right rear of the car. But you can see that left front's down right there.
Jeff does a nice job to keep it off the wall from doing some serious damage. Jeff Burton has pulled into pit road.
He made some pretty good contact with the back of Jeff Gordon.
Pits are not open, so obviously they have some issues that they feel they need to take care of.
Yeah, the only saving grace from all of this is, even though they're having to do all of this work, is they could get themselves close to a window here of.
Yeah, they could on this fuel deal. They could get closer to a window, but there's a lot of damage on this car of Jeff Burton's. And he has a pretty square hit, but you can see it's bent both fenders. It's bent the hood up. This could not be good for him.
Jeff Gordon has finally made it to pit road. You saw him just go through your screen there. Doc?
And after battling from 36 starting spot all the way into top 5 today, what a tough break for Jeff Gordon. You're right, DJ. That left front tire just went right on down. He went up across the racetrack, got damage on the right rear from the contact, and from the right front fender, also some they're going to pull out from the contact. Putting left side tires on. And they said, Jeff Dickerson said, look, we're already going to be last when we restart here on the take your time. Do not tear that fender off. We got a good race car. They got Jeff settled down, coming in, get all the tires, pull that left front fender away. And they're going to take their time and check all 4 fenders for clearance here. And the rest of the field coming down, and they will send Jeff away.
And Jeff Burton pulls out as well. So the 19, the 56 spade out. Some others will stay out. And let's send it to Mike Massaro.
And Greg Biffle down and away. Fuel only. Remember, last time they only took right sides. 18 cars in as well.
And a lot of these cars looking like could be fuel only. Doc?
Absolutely fuel only for Kevin Harvick, and they all came in because they are playing the fuel mileage game. Tony Stewart coming in to top off. Carl Edwards coming in. Boyer, Johnson, they were about 6 laps shy of making it the rest of the way, and now, according to radios here, they may be about a lap or a lap and a half shy. It's going to be a roll of the dice if we don't get any more yellow flags here in this one, guys.
Well, a great move by Regan Smith's crew. He is now in the 10th spot coming off of pit road. Of course, several cars stayed out. There's the race off pit road. Tony Stewart wins it by 6 inches.
Or 2.
Yeah. The 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. will get the lucky dog. Let me get you caught up, because these waiver rounds from the previous yellow, this is important, this second yellow here. McMurray, Speed, Elliott, Raines, Quapple, Carpentier, Hornish, Gilliland, Sorensen. That gives us 28 cars on the lead lap. Stay with us. We still got 44 to go. You don't want to miss that NHRA event tonight, the final one before the field set for the countdown to their championship in all 4 pro categories from Brainerd, Minnesota. That's going to be fun. They're working on Jeff Gordon's car again as he has come back in. He's still on the lead lap. And remember Greg Biffle on that last
lead at the start, on the restart. Well, Sprint brings you an inside look at the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup on the Now Network.
29. We're going to talk about that restart. They'd never go. Wanted me to try and beat him to the start and finish line. We'll have a little talk at NASCAR about that restart right there. About what I saw. It was quarter throttle the whole way to the start finish line. Quarter throttle, because he wouldn't go.
Well, for more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile at sprint.com/speed. Now let's go back and show you that previous restart. And take us through it, guys, because you thought.
Well, Harvick was the leader. He chose the outside lane. I just saw that Greg Biffle beat him to the lane. Now, I can't tell what kind of throttle they are. Greg Biffle's saying that Harvick was trying to set him up a little bit here, maybe.
All right, now let's get ready for the next one, because Elliott Sadler, Martin Truex, David Reagan, and David Ruderman stayed out. We're back to green flag racing. They're the top four. Sadler is your leader, and he's on the outside. Here we go, 3 wide, down low.
Kyle Busch trying to make his move early here.
And up high, it's Kevin Harvick. Casey Kahne coming up into that mix as well, right behind Kyle.
3 wide. Ruderman gave Harvick just enough room right there off of turn 2.
Casey Kahne had to get out of the throttle, and you see his 4 wide battle now down the backstretch. He's got him bottled up.
There's Boyer in that mix, as well as the 48. Jimmy Johnson, the 16 of Biffle.
See Montoya working that very bottom side. He's got his left sides below the white line down there.
Montoya slides up. No contact. Now we've only got 3 wide this time coming to the stripe.
Yeah, they really calmed down this lap, didn't they?
Jimmy Johnson going in the wrong direction, though. A.J. Allmendinger going by him on the high side. Look out!
Saw some contact. Yeah, a little wiggle by Denny Hamlin right there.
Whoa, man, look at Casey Kahne get sideways off the corner.
And the battle for second place as Elliott Sadler gets passed by David Reagan. So far, the 4 cars that stayed out, 3 of them have been able to stay up in that front 3 positions. But here comes Tony Stewart.
Yeah, Elliott Sadler's had a good, solid day. Todd Parrott was excited about bringing this car here. They haven't been great, but they've been back there 15th to 20th all day, which is a big improvement for them.
And this strategy that they're using here by staying out, they can't make it to the end, but if they could run 20 or 30 laps, that would bring everybody down pit road, and hopefully he would have some more track position than what he had.
Let's get an update on Elliott Sadler, Vince.
Well, running up front, something new for Elliott. Tell you what, he's been, 17th or worse the last 25 races, but they like what their car is running like out in clean air. Of course, they did not come for that stop, so they're going to have to come again before the end of the race. But they like the way their car is handling early. Good for him to have some of that opportunity to run up front, as you see Montoya go down below. But Todd Parrott and Elliott Sadler like their car right now and the way it's handling.
There's your top leaders coming through the stripe, and watch Montoya as he is on the move coming up. And there may be an issue with the 16. What's going on, Mike?
Yeah, the team is on the wall waiting for the 16 to possibly come down pit road. Greg Biffle radioed in not too long ago saying he thinks they may have a right rear tire going down. The team is ready if he brings it down pit road.
Biffle is 11th right now. And also, how about Kyle Busch right there in front of him on the restart? Remember, we saw him going down low once, but word is he may have brushed the wall.
We went from the bottom of the racetrack all the way to the top. Yeah, definitely a hard contact.
Let's listen to Kyle.
Well, what do you know? Same thing as the spring. Knock a wall down.
Well, he didn't knock it all the way down, but he's got enough issues that here comes Greg Biffle underneath him, and Biffle is supposedly supposed to be heading for pit road for a potential flat.
A lot of times you don't get your tires cleaned off good enough. You've got hot tires, you make a green flag stop, all you got was fuel. See Joey Logano making a move here.
That's on Clint Boyer, as Logano has moved into 14th. Boyer is dropping back to 16th. Ambrose is in this mix as well. These guys side by side, 3 abreast. Casey Kahne leading this charge. Look at David Reagan, or Regan Smith, I should say, coming up underneath Joey Logano.
Seeing a lot of racing. These guys, once again, not exactly sure of what their cars would do in this situation. A lot of them just have 2 tires, some none from the previous stop, so probably not handling exactly the way they want to. Clint Boyer's just trying to get out of this mess.
36 laps to go, and these guys are, again, racing like it's the last 6.
Joey Logano's car has really come to life right here.
Let's go back up front because we've got a battle for the lead. How about David Reagan trying to get underneath Martin Truex? They're side by side. And watch both these battles. On the right side, the battle for the lead, and further back in the pack.
Well, it's fun to see that UPS Ford leading here at Michigan again. David Reagan been fast in our practice sessions up here. Probably his worst lap of the weekend was whenever he went to qualify. Struggled a little bit today, but seems like his car's liking it out front right now.
4 Fords in the top 10, including the race leader. 2 Toyotas. The rest are Chevrolets. How about Tony Stewart? He's getting underneath the 56 already of Martin Truex, and he's closing quickly now on David Reagan. Remember, Stewart was the first of this group that did pit. Montoya and Harvick just a little bit further back. They're nose to tail as well. But here comes Tony on the high side. Down low, you see Montoya trying to go underneath and keep the position away from Harvick.
Well, now watch this run right here Harvick's got. He'll have him cleared when he gets to turn 3.
And he does. But here comes Montoya, going to go down low again. Now, how about the team of Joey Logano going there? And then we've got another battle with the 14 and the 6 going for the race lead. You've got Stewart side by side with Reagan. Here we go to the stripe again. The official leader will be Tony Stewart. That'll be our 15th lead change. And we've got caution out. And you heard it, debris. And we're hearing it is in turn number 2.
See, Paul Menard's slow on the back straightaway. I don't know if it came off of his car.
Yeah, could have possibly had a tire issue there.
Paul Menard, the report is before the caution came out, he was off pace. Of course, Paul going to be going to Richard Childress Racing next year. The 4th car. The Menard's family sponsorship obviously going along. We'll see if we can get an update if there really was an issue. But and let's check on, see who's going to get the free pass. It'll be the 39 of Ryan Newman, and a big break for him because remember his earlier problem when they had the contact with Logano.
Yeah, he did. He got those tires flat, and he had to make that whole lap around the racetrack and kind of tore up a lot of stuff, and they got it fixed, but they did lose a lap.
This will put him back on the tail end. He'll be 28th. And this is exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, this is where they were battling for that 15th spot. Logano got a little bit loose, just clipped the left rear of Ryan Newman, sent him spinning. They had to do a lot of work on Ryan Newman's car.
So now, as we are down to 32 laps to go, this definitely puts everybody within fuel if they need to stop now. Anybody, Rusty, you got any thoughts on what might happen here in this last 32?
Oh, man, you guys are putting me on the spot right now, but
hey, I know you'd take 4 tires right now, though.
You know what, Andy, I would have took 4 tires in the old days. But the new days, I'm a 2-tire guy right now, so I'm going for 2 tires if I'm these guys.
Well, they can make it all the way from here. You sure you want to come in?
Well, I think I'm going to, Andy.
Okay.
I really do. I think I'm going to come in and put
right,
2 tires on and top her off, and let's get after it.
Come on this time, then.
You know, Andy, this is the guy I'm most curious about what you'd do if you were Gil Martin, because Kevin Harvick obviously couldn't keep up with Tony Stewart in that last run of the race. Do you bring him in and try and do something or not?
Yeah, I think I'd like to have tires on this car right now. It's still 32 laps to go, and here he comes. It looks like, Stewart. Oh, man. I would have brought him, Alan.
Well, it looks like we're half right and half wrong, doesn't it, Andy?
Well, for Kevin Harvick, I would have come in that time.
Well, Stewart, Harvick, Hamlin, they stay out. So does Regan Smith and Ryan Newman. The first 5 cars, and here is what's happening on pit road. Dave?
The main thing is to check the damage that Kyle sustained on that tap of the wall. Looks to be okay. They're going to make a chassis adjustment as well for the 18. 48 of Jimmy Johnson is in. They're going to change 4 tires. He went from 13th to 6th on that last run.
13.2 for David Reagan, Kyle Busch's team. This is a longer stop because obviously they do want to get that metal pulled away. 14.3 for Elliott Sadler. You see on the right side of the screen the rest of the cars coming off pit road. Remember all those great pit stops that these guys had?
Yeah. I mean, you got to keep the fenders off the wheels there, or they're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, and they probably saw as they took that tire off that they had a rubbing issue, and so they had to work on it.
Yeah. I'll tell you, though, going back to Harvick not making that stop, I think he made a mistake there because he could have hung out Tony Stewart with no tires, and everybody behind him was coming. So I believe that was a little bit of a miscue on the 29 car. You know, he's still got a good car, and he's right there in second, but I just believe those new tires are going to maybe overpower these leaders.
Well, Matt Kenseth had a very good stop as he picked up quite a number of positions. He did a 2-tire stop, and so the 17 now shown in 19th position. Jeff Gordon, we're being told, has picked up 14 positions. We'll double check that if that's true. Big breaks that happen at key times sometimes work out in your favor. We'll sort it all out and reset it for you as Kyle Busch comes back out onto the track.
ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball continues tonight with a battle of NL East rivals from Citi Field in New York. Raul Ibanez and the Phillies take on David Wright and the New York Mets on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, 8 Eastern Time. Game is also available on ESPN3.com. So a critical twist of plot late in today's Carfax 400 at Michigan. We'll set it for you. Tony Stewart is the race leader. The first 6 cars on the racetrack did not pit. Stewart, Harvick, Hamlin, Smith, Speed, and Sorensen. Matt Kenseth first off pit road, just right side tires. First guy that changed all 4 tires on the pit stop is Martin Truex Jr. He's in 9th. We've got 28 cars on the lead lap. Ryan Newman is back on the lead lap with the free pass. Mark Martin still the first car a lap down. He's in 29th. Is another caution going to bring him back on the lead lap? And how's all this tire strategy going to play? I told you at the beginning of the day, don't go away. You never know how all this stuff's going to play out. 28 laps to go, Marty.
All right, and remember that Sorensen and the 83 and the 82 of Scott Speed took the wave around 2 cautions ago. They stay out here. They find themselves in the top 6. And here we go, back to green flag racing. Oh, my.
Got a lot happening here.
5 wide. I never said that before. Gordon all the way down low, below the line, now finally slides back up. Oh, we're back to just 4 wide.
I don't know, somebody missed a gear in there, or if they were just jockeying for position, but it got jammed up in a hurry.
Down the backstretch, there goes Biffle. He shoots past a couple of cars. He's going past Reagan now. That's Scott Speed right in front of him. Marcus Ambrose did a nice job. He's now shown in 5th position. The guy who finished 3rd last week. Battle for 2nd, side by side. You got Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, and Denny Hamlin took 4 tires back on lap 156 when these other guys just got fueled. This could be a big advantage in his court. You know, he won the first race here this year.
Now, he didn't pit this last time, but he did pit the time before, and these other cars don't have as good of tires as he does.
Well, the eventual winner led less than 15 laps in 3 of the last 5 Michigan races, and Denny Hamlin would fit that bill very nicely. Vince?
Well, the thing about Denny is that his car has been pretty good all day long, but he's just been mired back in traffic. He told Mike Ford, his crew chief, several times today, the car is better than it seems. He said, but I just can't get out of all this traffic. If I ever get some clean air, I think we're going to show what we got. Well, finally, they're up toward the front. He's starting to show what he's got. They did make, as you noted, put on 4 tires, and they gave him just a little bit out of the right rear to help him with some tightness on that last stop.
And if you remember, since his win here in June, he's had 1 top 5 finish for the entire Joe Gibbs Racing team in the last 7 races. So this is a shot in the arm that they needed. How about Ambrose going side by side on the high side of Biffle?
I tell you, Biffle's made a nice move up there with his 4 tires, though. He restarted back about 16th, I believe it was, and he's got himself up in the 4th spot now.
Marcus does the little slide there. Regan Smith right in front of him. There is the front half of this field. There's your race leader, Tony Stewart, about a half a second lead. Further back, Carl Edwards side by side with Martin Truex, and that is for the 10th position.
Yeah, Greg Biffle, I think, has become the man to beat right now. He's got those 4 fresh tires.
Whoa, did you see Harvick slide? Came
Harvick's
so
pushing
close.
really hard right now.
Down the backstretch, the 17 looked like he was giving the 42 a little bit of help going down that stretch, but they separate cleanly. Montoya right in front of Kenseth.
Gonna be 3 wide here coming off the corner.
Yeah, and look out for Regan Smith. He manages to keep it from sliding up to the wall. Kenseth slides in behind David Reagan.
Yeah, trying to give his teammate a little bit of a push here, get him out in front of this group.
The two of them do manage to pull away, at least for the moment. Then Kenseth slides up the track a little bit. Hey, look at Carl Edwards getting into the middle of this mix. This is all going on from about 7th on back. In fact, when you get David Reagan into the picture, it's 5th on back.
Harvick's moved back up on the back bumper of Denny Hamlin now.
That is the top 3. Next time by, there'll be 23 laps remaining. But the 16 on the right side of your screen is coming, Mike Massaro.
Yeah, and what a chain of events it has been for Greg Biffle. Not too long ago, they were worried they had a flat tire. Of course, they had the benefit of a caution. Were able to change all 4. They've made a wedge adjustment, loosening that car up. That's where they want to be on this final run. Greg Biffle so happy. He just let out a quick Ric Flair impersonation, a big woo, if you will, just to express how happy he is with that race car right now, guys.
We're saying woo up here in the booth.
Oh, yeah. Harvick just gave Hamlin a huge push. Hamlin's on the bottom trying to take the lead now, but Harvick's the fastest car of this group.
This could be the 9th different leader at the stripe. Here we go, and it'll be our 16th official lead change here at Michigan today, and the top 3 are that close. Doc, what's the latest on Tony Stewart?
Tony Stewart was a little bit concerned when he stayed out under the caution flag and said, you know, we might be in trouble. Hey, listen to the radio.
We're in big trouble. We'll be all right, dude. Clean air is king here. Let these guys want to fight for 2 tires just to get track position. You'll be fine. You and 29 in the class in the field right now. These boys got to do something to try to beat us.
What? They're doing something.
Yeah, he was trying to sell it. Sound like Darian Grubb was just trying to sell that move. And, you know, you want to keep that clean air, but, man, it's just so hard to beat these tires.
I think Harvick thought he could push Denny Hamlin down into 3, maybe get him a little bit loose and make that pass. I bet he learned a lesson right there. He won't push him quite as hard where he can get too far away from him so that he can make that pass as they get off of the corner. That's where Harvick's really strong as he's coming now.
Boy, Kevin is coming oh so close to that wall coming out of 2. Long view down the straightaway. You see way back in the distance there, Carl Edwards. Edwards is now in the 8th position. Here we go side by side again, the battle for 2nd. Harvick just cannot hold the throttle in it when he's down that low.
Yeah, the first time we've really seen him be down on the bottom side. That was a little surprising. I think he just wanted to show Denny something a little bit different and try something. Thought he might surprise him.
Give him a little something to think about, maybe?
That's right. This part of the track where Harvick is really, really strong. See Hamlin moving up, trying to make that work for him.
I think it just shows you just how good a car Harvick has, because Hamlin has about 20 lap fresher tires than does the 29.
As we go back a little bit further, here comes Carl Edwards taking a peek under David Reagan's fender, and that would give him 6th position if he can clear, and it looks like he will. Just as we come back here at Michigan, the battle for the race lead. Denny Hamlin gave it up for about 400 yards, and then he took it back from Kevin Harvick. Some great racing action. In fact, Hamlin took away his high line from Harvick down into 1 and 2. And that's where he actually hurt himself. He couldn't carry the momentum. A little further back, here comes Carl Edwards and Juan Pablo Montoya. Montoya is now 4th. Edwards is up to 5th. Biffle has been dropped down to 6th.
Yeah, Montoya's been trying to run that extreme low line, even on the apron, but now his tires giving up a little bit. He's not able to do that.
Comes Biffle. He's going to give his teammate Carl Edwards a little bit of a push, and they both go by Montoya.
And here comes Montoya right underneath, going for the low line. Oh, that's what makes Michigan so great. Now can he hold on to it? Coming up, here he drifts up.
Yeah, he's going to have nowhere to go here, and they're both going to draft back by him on the front straightaway. He'll try to make his advantage work down into 1 again as he takes that low line.
It's allowing Matt Kenseth, if you see right behind, he's sneaking up ever closer to this group. Again, Montoya's going to run the low line. Down the back stretch. Can't get it done again.
See Kenseth now, he's sneaking in this picture. His car, I've been watching his lap times. His lap times are pretty fast right now.
Well, let's check in on Clint Bowyer right now. Remember when Bowyer was running up so far in the field? He's now dropped down to 16th. What's going on, Dave?
Yeah, Marty, he's got a race car that has gone to the no grip and loose side, and they lost a lot of track position that last time because they took on 4 tires and made adjustments to try to fix it. Wow, as Kyle Busch nearly loses it coming off the corner, trying to pass him. The 33 also reporting he may have tapped the wall as well. Very, very tight race car now, so they have tightened it up, but way too much so.
Well, remember when Mark Martin went down early a lap, and it could have been as much as a 90-point swing? Right now, Mark Martin is shown in 28th position, 1 lap down, but it's 26 points that he is now behind Clint Bowyer because of Bowyer falling back to 16th.
Mark Martin is currently in the lucky dog position should the caution come out.
So that updates you on that situation. Let's go back up front because Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick have another little discussion going on. And a little bit further back, there is Carl Edwards, as Edwards is now, as we said, 4th, leading Montoya and Biffle. And Kenseth is right there in the mix as well. All right, here comes Harvick. He's got to run, and
wonder what he was going to do with that run.
Yeah, I thought he might try that inside one more time, but he just thought he'd send a message.
Well, Denny came up, shut the door, and he said, excuse me, I'd like to reopen it.
Yeah, he's going to try it one more time. Hamlin's pretty good off of 4. He's been able to keep him behind him, even with the big run that Harvick gets.
Don't forget, the wins count for bonus points going into the chase. That's what makes this battle so important right now.
This is a 20-point swing for Kevin Harvick. If he can keep Denny Hamlin from winning this race and he gets the win, it takes 10 points away from Hamlin and gives them to Harvick.
Going to get another run off of 2 right here.
Hamlin with 5 victories this year, and here he comes down the backstretch.
He just had too much momentum, and if Hamlin tried to cut that move off, it might have been trouble.
And that's what that bump the last time sent that message.
Well, it's still not clear because Hamlin's running the low line, and here we come out of 4.
I can see Hamlin struggling for grip down there.
Oh, got a good close-up of the Shell logo on the side of the car. And he does finally clear him. So that is our 17th lead change.
Drive away. You can't catch it.
You heard the team saying, drive away, he can't catch you. Couple of the Roush cars going side by side. Here comes Montoya down low underneath Kenseth in the 17. They go down the back stretch. Battle for 5th, as you can see.
Even though Biffle's led the most laps here today, it's still been, and probably isn't going to win the race, it's still been a very solid day for the Roush team because they're up there doing what they needed to do. Even though they were all inside the top 12, talking about these 2 guys plus Carl Edwards, they were back there in that 9th, 10th, and 11th spot. They needed to solidify themselves a little more, and they've done that here today.
9 laps to go, and on that last lap, did you notice Montoya taking all 4 below the white line? I mean, he is trying to use up every inch of this racetrack to find some kind of advantage.
He's going to be kicking up grass before long.
Kenseth, all of a sudden, looking very good here late in the stages of this race. He is in 5th position. In fact, the 3 Fords of Roush Fenway are 4th, 5th, and 6th right there.
Jimmy Johnson's back in 12th place right now.
And then you even got to go back a little further to find Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon, 27. Just that left front tire went down and cost him all that positions and a little damage to the car, and he's just not been good since.
He is the last car on the lead lap, and you can see his cycle there where he was as high as 2nd, and right now in 27th. Doc, what's the latest you're hearing on Kevin Harvick?
You know, Marty, it's funny. This morning, Kevin Harvick went to a meet and greet with one of his sponsors, SKF, and there on the stage, a little boy stepped up and asked him a question and said, Mr. Harvick, he said, how much pressure are you under as the points leader with a chase just 4 races away? And Kevin smiled and said, young man, I have no pressure. It's like I'm on vacation these next 4 races. And the little boy spoke up and said, well, you know what? I've never seen a driver on vacation win a race. And Kevin smiled and said, then watch closely today.
Well, he's only got about 6.5 laps, and he'll be able to show him exactly what it is like.
I'll tell you what, if the other teams hadn't gotten the message before now, just by Harvick being out front by so much in this points championship to this point, They know now that this is somebody they have to contend with on a weekly basis and can win races.
Well, this is also a shot in the arm for Denny Hamlin and Joe Gibbs Racing. Remember, we talked about the fact that the last 7 races, they've had 1 top 5. Here he is in 2nd place.
Yeah, they've done a great job of executing today, and the pit call that Mike Ford made to get the 4 tires when he did and then leave him on the track when he did has really paid off.
The battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th. You got David Reagan, Elliott Sadler, and boy, that move by Sadler got him into the mix, and he's been able to hold on. Joey Logano is right there in the 48 as well with Jimmy Johnson. Check in on Carl Edwards because he is charging hard underneath the 14 of Tony Stewart. He's going to take the position that'll move him up to 3rd.
If they have a late race caution, this 99 car might be one that Kevin Harvick will have to deal with.
He had the 2nd fastest lap last time around. Matt Kenseth had the quickest lap by 2/10, and there is Kenseth as he is closing now on the 14. 5 laps remaining here at Michigan. There is Greg Biffle. Biffle led 66 laps today. He'll pick up the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. We've had 9 different leaders and 17 lead changes. Look out. He's so close to that wall. Well, looks like we could finally catch our breath for a moment. Everybody's back to single file. And just as I say that, watch. Somebody will start running up on that high line. And here comes Kenseth. He's going to try the low line on Tony Stewart.
Well, it's been really impressive for them. They took those 2 tires that last stop and really have worked their way up since the restart, and be a nice solid run.
We're getting word that David Reagan and Elliott Sadler had a close call, and Joey Logano might have had the best view of it all the way around the track. Here we go.
They're racing for a top 10 spot here. Now, this mean a lot to both of these teams.
You can see the 6 car really hung out right there. Elliott Sadler tucked right up under his rear bumper, just as he is right now.
No real harm there, but you see all 4 of those cars.
Yeah, they're both in the top 10 right now, but 19 is in 10th. He's going for 9th on the outside of Reagan, but he's got this 20 car and the 48 behind him.
How about Jack Roush, Roush Fenway Racing? 4 cars in the top 9. The only thing he's missing is the race lead. Here comes Sadler right around the outside of David Reagan, so putting Reagan back to the 10th spot now.
Yeah, nice to see Elliott having a good day. He's had a lot of very bad and unfortunate days through this year, but making a good solid run here today.
Kenseth on the right side of your screen, right on the quarter panel of Tony Stewart. And here comes Biffle right along with his Roush Fenway teammate. So Tony maybe rethinking that idea not to stop.
He didn't get tires, but neither did Harvick, and Harvick's up front leading the race. So, I mean, you can't put it all on the tire decision.
That's true. Good point. Side by side, there goes Biffle. Kenseth is already cleared. So Tony right now, if he drops down, he'll be in 6th if Biffle can get past him. And he does.
Yeah, but Tony Stewart and his team still have made great strides over the last probably 15 races. They just weren't that good at the beginning of this year, but they've got themselves in a solid position now to challenge for a championship.
Less than 2 laps remaining with a Chevy of Harvick up front, then the Toyota of Hamlin, and then the 3 Roush Fenway Fords of Edwards, Kenseth, and Biffle. And there they are. The irony of all this.
White flag.
White flag this time by. A couple weeks ago, everybody was, as you would think, concerned about the well-being of Jack Roush. This may be the best medicine of all. Like I said, the only thing that would be better is if it was his car up front. But what a day for this team. 4 cars in the top 10 for Roush Fenway. Let's zero in on the man who looks like he's going to win this. There goes Biffle around the 17, but it's all about Kevin Harvick right now on this final lap. That is Sam Hornish, as he is several laps down. And for Harvick, as he comes to the stripe, it'll be his 3rd win of 2010.
We're in Michigan.
His first win at Michigan in his 20th start. And I think that's why he was saying, I can't believe we won Michigan.
It's a hard place to win.
Look at this battle to the line as Casey Kahne holds off Marcus Ambrose. The celebration. Gil Martin and the crew, they are.
You can't win at Michigan, Kevin. Good job, buddy. Oh, thank you, Richard.
Like you, Dale, I think it sends a message in the chase when he wins at Michigan.
Good job, guys. Great
They're doing a lot right.
Wife Delana. Yeah. As Kevin rolls on out, if you were with us on Countdown, Gil Martin visited the Craftsman Tech Garage. Now we're going to visit with him.
Yeah, maybe Gil's going to want to be in the Craftsman Tech Garage every week. Brings you good luck. Great call there at the end, and you guys were strong all day long. What kind of momentum does this give you? Not only with the points lead, but to put another 10 bonus points on the board headed to the chase.
I mean, more than anything, to put the Shell Benzor Chevrolet in victory lane at Michigan means a lot to our company. We've struggled here so bad over the last 3 or 4 years, changed a lot of things coming into the chase, and just it worked out today. Kevin did a great job, and I couldn't be happier for our guys and everybody at the shop, the engine department. What you can't say enough, this is nothing but a dyno right here. They're awesome. Everybody back at the shop, the guys, awesome job.
Seemed to be some concern up and down pit lane about what to do on that final stop. How'd you come to your decision?
Well, we came to our decision by what we've done in the last 21 weeks. Coming with a 180-point lead, we could gamble staying out, hoping that clean air was the way to go. And it was, because you get in the back, you got mired in. The tires just didn't send you up there like we needed to. We knew if we could get to clean air, we'd be okay.
Kevin Harvick locked in the chase.
I want to say hello to my mother-in-law. Her sister just died, and I want to tell her I'm thinking about her and love you guys at home.
Thank you, Gil. Well done. Congratulations to the 29 locked in the chase and winners at Michigan.
Richard Childress Racing's last of 2 Cup Michigan wins, June of 1990, by the late Dale Earnhardt. And they get it today with the 29 of Kevin Harvick. And you heard Vince say he has locked himself into the championship chase, and he's picked up 10 bonus points.
Carfax 400 in Michigan is brought to you by Carfax. Free at your used car dealer. Just say, show me the Carfax. And AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T. Rethink possible.
We mentioned the fact that 20 times Kevin Harvick has raced here in the Sprint Cup Series, and he's never won. Listen to the conversation as he was searching for victory lane.
You know where this place even is? Victory lane here?
It's been about 7 years since I've been there. That wasn't in the Cup, so I have no idea.
Well, it's between pit road and the track. So as you come in, it'll be on your left. If you want to go down the front stretch, it'll be on your right.
Great stuff.
But you got to enter from pit road.
He did find it. We can guarantee you that. And he has made his way down there. And there he is as the celebration is about to begin. Doc, let's talk to Happy Harvick.
Wow, what a difference a year makes. A year ago, he was winless, 22nd in the point standings, and today he picks up his 3rd win of the year, locks himself in the chase. Kevin, this morning you were talked about how bad a track this was for you and RCR over the years, and today it was totally different. What made the difference?
Well, first off, I want to thank the fans and Sprint and all these people for coming out and watching us race today. Shell, Pennzoil, Reese's, SKF, Jimmy John's, Champion, Sherwin-Williams, Realtree, everybody who helps us with this car, Chevrolet. We had a good car in practice, and we were able to. What is going on back there?
They're partying back there. I think they're pretty happy.
Yeah, they are. I mean, this has been a very bad track for us, and to come here and do what we did today says a lot about where RCR is, where our cars are, and hopefully what we can do in the last 10 weeks of the season. So really proud of everybody. Just got to thank all the guys on this team for working as hard as they do and putting up with me, and it's a lot of fun right now.
Talk about the battle with Denny Hamlin. You looked like you might have pushed him by a little too aggressively when he got by Tony because he pulled away a little bit.
Well, I knew Tony was running a little higher than Denny, and I wanted him to kind of start working the bottom, and Denny moved up down to 1 and 2, and so I moved down and got better in 1 and 2 down there, and it just took a while. And once the bottom went off of his car, our car just kept getting better and better. So a lot of fun racing with those guys, even more fun beating them.
You told some people this morning, you said, I don't have any pressure. It's like I'm on vacation here. And did it feel like vacation out there those final 10 laps?
No, I didn't need a restart. We weren't as good on the restarts as we needed to be, but we were so good after 10 laps that it was hard to make any adjustments. But 3 more weeks of vacation, and then we can then we can go back to the pressure cooker for the last 10.
And by the way, you do know you are locked in the chase. So, man, next up is the championship run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really excited. You know, could all go wrong, but it's been such a great turnaround for the year that we've had. And to finally get this downforce victory out of the way, we've been close a lot this year. And now they can't just say we won on super speedways this year.
Hey, congratulations. Go celebrate with those guys.
All right, thank you.
Kevin Harvick wins it at Michigan, guys. 3rd win of the year and first ever win in a NASCAR Sprint Cup car here at the Motor City. Mike?
And Doc, Greg Biffle didn't win the race, but he did lead the most laps this afternoon. How would you assess the day?
Well, I mean, that was it was a pretty good day for us. 4th place finish, 3 and 4 Fusion. You know, we had a really fast car, and I got a weird set of tires in the middle of the race, super tight, so I didn't adjust on it. Then I came back loose again, and we did 2 and wasn't very good. So at the end, I said, I'm going to leave it alone, and I put 4 on it, and that's probably almost the loosest I'd been all day. And I could carve through traffic there, but then when I got in clean air, just too much air on the front of the car, too loose to catch the rest of the guys. But had a lot of fun racing today. I think there was a lot of position changing, a lot of passing going on, but pretty happy with the day.
Greg Biffle with a 4th place finish, and more proof that this team may be peaking at the perfect time, Dave.
And Mike, I'm standing here with Mark Martin looking at a beaten and battered race car. Mark, how would you sum up the day?
Well, my guys did an awesome job. The car was really fast the last run, but it took us the whole race to fix up my mistakes. I was real aggressive early in the race, and got the damage in the front. It got us a little bit behind first of all, and then got the damage in the front end. And we're gonna race hard like we did today, and try not to have any more scrapes. But we're going to go down swinging, and that's what we did today. I'm real proud of the rebound that the guys made with the thing. Was pretty fast that last run.
Yeah, and that speed late in the day, that gives you some encouragement as well?
Well, I think we had a decent car. I don't know what we had because, things started going wrong from the start. So it was a great team effort, and we'll keep pounding no matter what. We're racing hard.
All right, they'll see if they can get their way back into the top 12, guys.
And he lost 45 points to Clint Boyer today in that all-important chase for the 12th and final spot. As you can see now, he is 35 behind Clint Boyer, as Clint at one point could have had it as deep as 90 points. And look at Denny Hamlin as he picks up 3 and moves into 3rd with his 2nd place finish today. He's with Mike Massaro.
And after a hard-fought battle, Denny Hamlin brings it home 2nd. It seemed like there was a battle for those bonus points in those closing laps. How much was that on your mind?
Well, a lot. Obviously, it's win or nothing for us, but just a great fight by our FedEx Express team. It's this is the kind of run we needed to kind of get back in the swing of things, but we still got to get better. The 29 is strong down that straightaway, and it was hard for us to beat them, but it was a good battle. I mean, I haven't had that much fun racing someone for a win in a long time.
And air conditioning problems inside your car, what was that like today? I mean, the temperatures outside the race car were in the high 80s.
Yeah, I mean, it was a warm day for sure. We keep having voltage problems with our FedEx team. Don't know what it is exactly, but hopefully we just keep fixing these problems, and then eventually we'll be all right.
Great run.
Thanks.
Denny Hamlin brings it home 2nd.
Frustrating day for Kasey Kahne. Started from the pole, and Kasey, we talked before the race about the opportunities that this race was going to present to you in regards to the chase chances. What happened today?
We actually ran pretty good for a long time, and the front just got tight. One split, just one corner, and it didn't turn the rest of the time until we put on 4 that final run. So we're actually kind of free throughout most of the race, and it got tight, and it was terrible after that. So I don't know what happened. It's disappointing. I thought we had a good shot. Just something went wrong there.
Thanks, Kasey.
Kasey Kahne with a 14th place run today, and not gaining the ground he was hoping for in a bid to make the chase for the Sprint Cup. Kevin Harvick, the trophy presentation in Victory Lane. When we started the day, just after noon Eastern time on NASCAR Countdown, Harvick was in the pit studio with us. We talked with him about his approach to these races this season, and he talked about just needing to go all out and needing to win races. And boy, in that last fight with Denny Hamlin, he was not holding anything back.
Oh, he was not laying back at all. He gave it everything he had. But I mean, what I saw today was just a really dominating run by Kevin Harvick and our RCR team. I mean, you heard him talk again and again about his horsepower. Incredible horsepower to Childress, and that engineering, they got that car handling so good, Brad. I mean, you got to say, in my mind, this is one of the odds-on favorite to win this title.
I think you're absolutely right, Rusty. And the thing that surprised me, though, is the 48 car, once again, didn't have that day that we expect of that car, especially the way they started out. You know, start out up front and led a lot of laps and then just kind of worked their way back. Finished 12th, but not up in that top 2 or 3 like we're used to seeing. Something's going on there.
Harvick's rivals for that #1 seed in the chase for the Sprint Cup. Denny Hamlin had the good day, fought with him for the win at the end. Jimmy Johnson did not. Harvick celebrating in victory lane. And while the photos continue down there, let's go back to Mike Massaro.
And a terrific run for Matt Kenseth. Your first top 10 since May. How would you assess the day?
It seems like it's been longer than that. You know, it was a great finish for us and a great effort by all the guys. We didn't really run very good most of the day, but Jimmy and I made some good two-tire calls there at the end, and the pit crew guys executed when it really needed them to. Got us some track position. We were able to get a good finish out of it. So it feels good to finish up front, that's for sure.
As we get closer to the chase, every point is critical. How much of the edge does this take off?
Well, each point, honestly, is equally as important from Daytona all the way to the end of Richmond to get in the chase. I mean, you want to get as many points as you can every week, and the way to do that is lead laps and run up front. You know, the higher you finish, the more points you get. So we've been trying as hard as we can to run up front. We just haven't been able to do it lately. So this weekend was really good for us. We qualified really, really well. Struggled in practice in most of the race, but we were able to finish off with our best setup at the end of the race, our best pit stop, and our best run of the day, and got a decent result out of it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Matt Kenseth, one of 3 Roush Fenway drivers to finish in the top 5.
Big day for the Cat in the Hats team. Big day for the Richard Childress Racing team as Kevin Harvick's in victory lane. Don't forget, stay tuned. Continuing post-race coverage of the race on Sports Center right after our official race coverage wraps up here. We'll be back. Carl Edwards will join us in the pit studio. He'll be our onboard analyst for the course, and more on the preseason NFL and a look around some very crucial games in Major League Baseball as the pennant races continue today. That and post-race coverage on Sports Center coming up shortly. I mentioned Richard Childress. Doc?
Yeah, let's visit with the RC owner here, Richard, in victory lane. Richard, the big difference, a big change from a year ago everyone's talking about. You were the guy who stepped up and said something has got to change at the end of 2009, and man, what a change you made.
Well, we actually started a little earlier. A lot of people get credit. We made some changes in personnel, engineering, a lot of different things. And, you know, Kevin's been so rock solid. He's into it so good this year. The whole team is. Clint, Jeff, you know, I can't say enough. And the sponsors and our fans. What would we be without all of our fans?
You talked this morning. They said this has never been a very good racetrack for RCR. You said you knew Harvick was good, but did you have any idea he would be this good?
Yesterday, I knew it was good up high, which we were good the last race here, and we kind of lost it after partway through the race. But today, he just stayed solid all day long.
Do you let yourself start thinking about something that slipped away the last few years, and that's that NASCAR Sprint Cup title? I know it's still a few weeks away, the chase starts, but you guys have been so good. In fact, all 3 cars.
Yeah, you know, you just got to be solid to win championships, and we contended in 2007 and 2008 with Clint and with Kevin in 2008, but we're gonna give it our all this year.
Richard Childress in victory lane at Michigan. Go celebrate, Richard. The last time he went to a championship stage, it was Dale Earnhardt Sr. The last time he stood in victory lane at Michigan was 1990, 20 years ago with Dale Earnhardt Sr. What a special day, maybe an omen for a championship headed their way.
Doc Childress and his team certainly rolling on. Now back in the garage, 2 drivers who were involved in a crash about 3/4 of the way through the race. Joey Logano on the left, or now on the right, and Ryan Newman on the left, having a post-race talk it out between them, and one trying to explain and one not looking like he's all that happy with the explanation. Let's go back and show you what happened here. This was at lap 148. Newman's in the 39 car. Logano's in the 20. They're racing for 15th spot.
And this is pure racing action to me. You see Logano getting loose right here. Let's take a look at this. He just gets loose, tries to catch it, gets up, and on the outside is Newman. I understand why Newman's upset. He got spun out. It wasn't his fault.
And he had a good race car, you know, right in front of him in the middle. But you see Joey lose it actually back towards the corner, and the car is out of control, and he's trying to catch it. Just a racing incident, no doubt about it.
Logano wound up finishing in 10th position in the race. Newman wound up finishing in 23rd. Newman, one of those bubble guys in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. And as they continue to talk, it doesn't look like the conversation is going all that well. And with all those cameras around, that's probably something that their sponsor types would rather they take inside a truck somewhere. But officials stepping in there and saying, okay, boys, we let you have at it for a while. Now we've had enough.
It was just about the right time to do that because somebody was getting ready to get punched just right then.
I've heard that phrase from you before.
Yeah, and I've watched it before, so I know what I'm talking about.
What are those conversations like between two? Now, put me on both sides. When you're the guy that had the bobble and hit somebody else and you're trying to explain yourself and he's not hearing it.
Well, yeah, I mean, Newman's the one that got spun out, and he's not liking it a bit, you know, and he knows that, you know, Logano's been involved in some altercations. He's a young guy early in his career, so he's probably got that in the back of his mind a little bit. But all he knows is, hey, I'm cruising along on the outside. This kid hits me in the left for a quarter. What he doesn't see is the interview that we just saw, the replay.
Maybe he'll take a look at that,
Yeah.
Ryan Newman will, and see that it was an accident. I mean, Joey didn't
Absolutely.
mean to get into him. Dave, you got a little more for us down there on Joey Logano?
Well, Joey's decided to come over and sign some autographs with the folks, and I suppose that's to cool off just a little bit. What's your side of the story that you're trying to tell Ryan?
I was just wondering why he races everyone so hard all the time. You know, I'm not the only one that says it every week, and you know, of everyone out there, he's the hardest one to pass. And I don't understand why when there's 70 laps to go at a 2-mile racetrack. It's a long ways to go. And you know, if someone races meekly and I race him back, you know, me and Junior did it earlier in the race. He passed me, and he's trying to pass the cars in front of me. I helped him pass him. I got back to him. He let me go. You know, it's just kind of how this. I found that it works. And if you give someone respect, you get that back. But he just races everyone hard. I mean, you asked his boss, Tony Stewart. You know, I mean, he races him hard. I don't understand it, but you know, he's been doing it a lot longer than me. So I don't know. I tried to talk to him about it, but I don't know. I didn't get nowhere.
Racing purists might say the idea is to stay ahead of the other guy, but you think it's misplaced.
Well, you know, there's a time to race. You know, when you're running 400 miles, 500 miles, why do we got to race each other, you know, so early in the race? You know, so it's just frustrating, you know, when you're trying to get by someone at that point. You know, it wasn't a big deal whether we passed each other or not at that point, you know. So, you know, most times if faster cars behind me, I let him go, and hopefully I get that back later. But, you know, I've done it with him a lot, you know. So he's get behind me, I let him go. But he's just, I don't know what to tell you. I wish I could talk to him and figure it out, but I think maybe we have to calm down first and then talk about it.
All right, thanks for the comments, Joey. Marty? Or Alan, sorry.
Okay, David, thanks. So Joey Logano signing for the fans on his way out of the racetrack. Ryan Newman did walk off and did not wish to comment on his side of the issue there. Rusty, we were talking about, your and Brad, the experiences in these kind of things. What will tomorrow bring for this?
That's the most important day, Alan. Tomorrow they'll have a whole different outlook and everything. They'll go back and look at the replays a little bit. They'll think about it and go, oh, maybe I overreacted there, and maybe I shouldn't have done this. And I think it'd be a good thing if these two get on the telephone and talk to each other a little bit, and they'll probably understand real quickly that it was a racing accident. But tomorrow is a key time. They need to cool down right now, get a shower, wake up. They'll feel a little better.
Well, it sounded to me like they were talking about almost two different things there. It sounded to me like Joey was talking about just how Ryan races everyone as opposed to the incident. So maybe we got a little bit of misinformation there. We don't have all the information, and these two guys get worked out. They're both good, hard racers, and Joey's a young guy. Ryan's a veteran guy. It'll all be fine.
All right, so the post-race confrontation to talk about, and what about the race itself? Let's go upstairs to the men who called it for us, Marty Reed, Dale Jarrett, and Andy Petrie. That was some kind of action we saw today.
And going back to what we started, remember the teams that we talked about on the upswing? Roush Fenway Racing, their average finish, 12.8. Look at the way they finished today with Edwards, Biffle, Kenseth, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then there's Team Hendrick, best finish, 12th. Denny Hamlin did get something, though, good, positive for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Well, they pulled off a really good move. They executed well today by making that one call that they made to stay out. Actually, 2 calls in a row. They've got 4 tires before that. So, yeah, they did make a good call there. They still have some performance issues, I think. Hendrick for sure has some performance issues, and Roush is on the upswing.
Yeah, they sure are. I think that's the biggest thing. Those guys, those Roush guys, who are really fighting for their life as far as the chase goes, they had good, solid days, led laps, did a lot of the right things. Even though, like Matt Kenseth said, we need to be up racing for victories, so they have a little ways to go, but they were very, very solid. And with these fans here today, we had a great crowd, and they saw a great race all throughout the day.
Also, got to point out, I think if Ryan Newman at 200-something and Joey at 100-0, I think we would have known if that had gotten physical. So, Alan, we'll send it back to you.
All right, and it didn't, fortunately, and those 2 drivers will go on their way to hash it out further down the road. Boy, after a little bit of a threatening rain shower we had earlier today, it turned into a beautiful afternoon here in the Irish Hills of Michigan, and we thank the folks up in the Goodyear blimp flying over the Speedway for our coverage of today, and hope you'll go to Goodyear.com and help out support our troops. Now, Talk about, we had a couple of heated tempers after a race in Michigan. Imagine what it's going to be like after Bristol next Saturday night.
Oh, man.
High-banked half-mile where they go fender to fender and wheel to wheel and slug it out for 500 laps. That is next weekend at Bristol, and our coverage there begins. First, let's remind you that later tonight, it's the NHRA Lucas Oil Nationals, the finals at 10 Eastern time on ESPN2, and then NASCAR Now with more post-race coverage from Michigan. That's at 1 a.m. Eastern later on tonight. Then Bristol, Friday night, Nationwide Series going to run 7 Eastern on ESPN, and then Saturday night, the NASCAR Sprint Cup race is on ABC. Remember that? We start with NASCAR Countdown at 7 Eastern on ABC next Saturday from Bristol. Mr. Bristol expert, Rusty Wallace, that should be a fun one.
It will be a fun one. It'll be one of the best races of the year, side by side, Framin and Bam all night long. A lot of wrecks.
Folks was arguing today. Somebody might get whooped next week. It's going to be great.
All right, so stay tuned for extended post-race coverage on SportsCenter. Carl Edwards will join us in the pit studio to talk about it from the driver's perspective, and all the day's sporting news as well coming up on SportsCenter. And then we'll talk to you next weekend from Bristol. Kevin Harvick in Victory Lane today. SportsCenter is now.